Hi everyone. Vanakkam. Glad to be here on a day where the weather is very conducive to selling ice creams, which is what I do. So I'm Kiran Shah. I'm the founder of Go Zero. We make guilt-free ice creams without sugar and with 50% less calories than normal ice creams. But before that, I also scaled my family business of ice creams. So I've been in the ice cream industry for almost 13 years now. Prior to that, I was working at Procter and Gamble in Singapore as brand manager and did my MBA from IIM Lucknow. And I come from a Gujarati household, like Gujarati family. So business kind of runs in our blood. So growing up, it was a matter of time, and it was when will I do something of my own rather than if I will do something. But as I went about building Go Zero, of course, in the family business, there was always the support of the family members, and there's always a legacy of something that's been around for generations. But as I started Go Zero alone, solo, I realized that there's a lot more to building your own startup than just claiming that I come from a business family. So yeah, I learned a lot of things along the way. Hopefully today I'll be able to share and we'll be able to discuss more on my journey. So looking forward to that.
Okay, just a quick check. Uh, how many people are fluent enough in Tamil that I can slip between Tamil and English, or should I keep it only English? What's better? Tamil and English is fine. Only Kiran can't understand, but he already knows everything, so he doesn't need to understand
Translator.
what I'm saying. Okay, Vanakkam. In Paris, Sriram. I'm the Chief Business Officer at the Whole Truth Foods. We are a 100% clean label. How many of you have heard of the Whole Truth Foods earlier? If I may request you to just tell me. If there are still a few people who have not heard, that is my job to ensure that all of you know about us and all of you have tried us, beyond which our products will hopefully speak for ourselves. We're a 100% clean label brand. We make food with ingredients that நம்ம பாட்டியோட கிச்சன்ல எந்த ingredient யூஸ் பண்ணுவோமோ அதை வச்சு we try to make food, and it's clean, it's nutritious, it's tasty. It has 20 other problems: low shelf life, breaks easily, all of those problems we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Uh, that's a bit about the brand. I'm from Tamil Nadu. திருநெல்வேலி மாவட்டத்தில் ஒரு சின்ன கிராமம் எங்கள் ஊர். கல்லிடை குறிச்சின்னு பேர், அப்பளாத்துக்கு ஃபேமஸ். I did bulk of my schooling in Andhra Pradesh. I did my engineering from Gujarat, MBA from Calcutta, and I joined Hindustan Unilever based out of Delhi. அப்படி country மொத்தம் ஒரு ரவுண்ட் அடிச்சுட்டு I shifted to the HUL head office in Bombay. So did a role in strategy and analytics, then did marketing. I was brand manager for Hamam. I don't know how many of you remember this Hamam campaign. ஒரு அம்மா வந்து ஒரு பொண்ணை கூட்டிட்டு சிலம்பம் சொல்லி கொடுக்க போவாங்க. That campaign was my first marketing campaign. So I worked on Hamam, Lifebuoy, a set of soaps. Then I worked on Indulekha, Clear, etc. And after that, I quit HUL to take a sabbatical. And eventually, someone I knew, Shashank, had already started the Whole Truth, was doing well. I was free. I started consulting, and then I joined the Whole Truth full time. I've done sales, marketing, content, production, supply chain. I've done almost everything but finance at TWT at some point of time. Currently, I handle all the business, sales, and marketing. Thank you.
Very dependent hot water. You are, of course, with the eco-friendly zero makeup, acid, zero polymers. Very dependent hot water. Your soap is. What's the name of the brand?
You're saying 95% of business is online. At what point of time, should I think about modern trade, and what point of time should I not? Likely Kiran and I might have different answers to this question. I think fundamentally, wherever the shopper is shopping the category, the job of the brand is to be present there. Brands are usually not strong enough to change shopping habits of shoppers. So if shoppers are buying your category online, there is no point in going to modern trade. You won't have tailwind, it won't work out. If shoppers are buying your category in offline, you are, by staying online, majority of your shoppers don't even know you exist. Majority of buying decisions are happening where you're not even a factor. You will have to go offline. So this is broadly the framework I would use to decide. It is not based on the brand, but first based on the category. Where do people buy the category? Within, because online modern trade are very large terms. Within that, there are several, pockets. My suggestion would be to evaluate who buys my brand, where are they likely to shop, and can I go and place my brand there? If you find that your shoppers shop at Nuts and Spices or Brown Tree, then that is where you should go. If you feel like they shop at Pothis and Sarvana, that is where you should go. So you need to answer that question. And it's very easy. You just need to talk to people who already buy your brand and ask them, when you go to buy your groceries, where do you go? Fine. And they will tell you where they go. That's the place where you have to eventually get to. But I would say get there when the modern trade retailers find you interesting enough to want you in their store. Don't try to convince them and push your way into the store, because it does not work out. I think it only works if it is both sides. You want to go, but they are also hearing good things about you and they want to do.
So I have sold ice creams for 13 years across two brands. The first brand, I sold ice cream completely offline. There was no online presence, like very, very limited online presence. Today, 98% of my revenue is coming online. And we are doing roughly 15 crores a month of revenue, right? So the question eventually is that you have to be where the consumer is shopping for you, right? But most often consumers are buying from all the touch points, right? So the fun fact is that today in India, 80% of ice cream is still consumed offline. 80%, right? Online is just 20%. And yet I am choosing to go all in on online and scale my brand. The choices and the reasons are very, very strategic. While eventually I would love my brand to be available at every store, every modern trade, every general trade touch point, all quick commerce platforms, all food delivery platforms. That's like a vision or a distant dream. The choice we as founders have to make is, today where do I start? 1 year down the line, what does it look like? 3 years down the line, how does it look like? Right? So, for example, you said today 95% of your revenue is coming from online. Now, online again is a very big universe. Is it D2C, meaning your own website, or is it platforms, quick commerce platforms, your own website? Correct? If you can share the numbers, like how much is the monthly run rate right now? 63 lakhs, around 60 70 lakhs per month online. How fast is it growing, or how quickly is it growing? 10% month on month, right? So one important thing is that you have a channel where the momentum, like 10% month on month, is not bad. It's pretty good. Yeah. So if you have an internal target that by X, in X months, I can reach to this revenue. Maybe that revenue target is 1 crore per month, 1.5 crore per month, purely focusing on online. I think you should keep doubling down. Second, then you can take a call whether I want to go online with more channels, because there is a lot of learning which you and your team would have in how to sell online. What kind of ads to show, what kind of cataloging to be done, you know. So there's some kind of skill sets which your team has already built. The easiest way is then to extend those skill sets to e-commerce platforms, quick commerce platforms, right? Offline is a very, very, very different way and approach of growing and scaling. So we should approach offline or modern trade only when we feel that I have set my online business on the path to scaling to 100 crore ARR on its own in the next 5 years. I have enough capital which the channel is throwing back, cash flow is coming. or I feel now there's enough product market fit where I can raise capital and then now I can go into offline. Like this is how I would approach.
I will put ad in, Dinatandi, and I will go sell from Reliance Retail. It's easy. Many people can do it, and hence the odds of success plummet. But if you're saying I will build an org that goes to 2000 events in a year and put up a stall there and sell from there, it is difficult. 99 out of your 100 competitors does not have the mental resilience to even attempt this. This itself will be a success driver for you. Find one wedge where it's working. If you think events is working and you sell out, what can you do not to sell out? Can you park, more stuff in a van nearby so you never sell out and you can replenish? How can you do more of these events? How will you figure out if an event is happening? How will you be such that the event operators remember you and call you and say, "Arey, this event is there, please come." Like, just build depth in that one wedge and keep doing that well. The rest of the world will start coming to you.
Hi, my name is Pavitra. So I run an ice cream brand in Chennai. It's called Vermilo Ice Cream. So it's a retail store, so different to what you do. Yes, of course. So my challenge is basically I have a retail store. Like you mentioned, the capex is pretty high when you do that, and then it's basically having a very small set of customers, right? Like if you keep in a particular area, that's the radius that you can cover. So when I have to expand, it's becoming even more challenging to find spaces in different spaces and things like that. So how is it in quick commerce? Because I see both your brands in quick commerce, and what is the biggest challenge that you face?
Question to ask is, do you believe in the parlor model or not? That is the question to ask. Like, if you believe in the parlor model, then you should just forget quick commerce. And so that's what I used to tell myself, that it's about where I can get to 100 crores of revenue on which channel. So I joined my family business in 2014. Okay, in 2014, this was pre quick commerce, pre Swiggy Zomato. 2014, it was possible to build 100 crores of revenue in the ice cream industry by going offline. Post 2016-17, there was a phase when Swiggy and Zomato were really doing well. And then there was a brand called NIC. NIC came and built 100 crores of top line only on Swiggy and Zomato through its own dark store network. Now, post 21-22, there are brands like GoZero who are able to build 100 crores of top line on quick commerce, right? Now, all three channels have very, very different ways of building, ways of unit economics, ways of breaking even, ways of scaling, right? Is your product suited to that channel? So, for example, Naturals, Apsara ice creams, all of these are parlor models where you could scoop, you could serve, and that's how you scale. GoZero is a packaged ice cream brand. So, packaged ice cream will sell on quick commerce. So, is your concept more around the parlor, the scooping, the preparing Sundays, and multiple other things which will get people coming to the store for that experience of eating out? Because at the end of the day, ice cream is something which you go out, have with your family, with your friends. It's an occasion driven product. Now, if that is happening, then the question to ask is, how do I get to, let's say in a city like Chennai, how do I get to 10 crores or 15 crores of revenue by setting up multiple stores? Because that is possible, provided the location strategy is correct, you have the right format of the store, you have the right assortment. So that is possible. But thinking that, oh, it's not working, I think it's not scalable, let me try in quick commerce, I think that is not the right approach.
That's not the question, but because it's very easy to distribute, right? When you go to quick commerce, it's very easy that the entire city is able to get the product. So, like you mentioned, I understand it's a different concept of scoop and package, but the speed of doing it, I think quick commerce is much more faster, right? So that was the question.
But at the same time, today, like when we started on quick commerce, it was 2022 or 23, right? The competition was very less. The brands which were there in quick commerce were very less. After 3 years, 4 years, now on quick commerce, there are 5 times more brands that were than when we launched, right? So today the question which quick commerce category managers ask is not, okay, which brand are you and what a product, let me list. How are you different from what I don't already sell on my platform, right? So if you have a very clear product offering that there is something which my brand offers, which no other ice cream brand on your platform is offering, and then of course there is this whole tricky thing about margins, about spending on QCOM. So parlors, for example, you can break even in less than a year if done right. Quick commerce can take years to break even or even get EBITDA positive. Both of our brands are not EBITDA positive. So the scale is coming, you're right there. You'll scale very fast, but the break even will not come so soon, which is why you will need to raise capital. And then is your business ready to do all of this together? That will become the question.
And I'll just quickly add by saying there are many different ways to win. There is no one right way to win. And there are times when almost external circumstances dictate what is the way. When quick com is rapidly reshaping how Indians buy food and groceries, then at that moment, the right way is usually singular, saying you have to play that way. But once that has happened, and before that happens, right, every 10 years there will come one period when the market will reshape dramatically. At that point of time, you have to learn how to play that wave and be nimble. But before and after that, the true source of success is actually as the person running the business, as the person who's providing the passion for that business to scale. What is your unique advantage? What do you know how to do well? Where do you have an unfair advantage because of who you are and what you've become in whatever 20, 30 years of your life compared to other people running this business? So for someone who comes from great real estate background, running a parlor is far easier than trying to scale on quick com. Someone who comes with innate understanding of how businesses are built online will find it easier to run on quick com. There is no one right way to win. We have to find what is the right way for our brand to win. And it can mean different things for different people because we are all different people who are running the business. So I would just generally say that there are very few silver bullets that work for everyone. We have to find what is right for us.
Hi, I'm Abhi Kalyan, founder of Mom's Cradle. It's a maternity clothing brand. We do complete wardrobe solution for mothers, pregnancy, breastfeeding, and beyond. So we have a store next to Kaveri Hospital, but majorly we operate from our website. It's a D2C brand, my own website. So it's doing. I've built a community which is very. We don't just serve as a clothing brand. We are literally our services, our brand itself. It's like a support system for mothers. That's how I built the community itself. It is a very loved brand, but there is a very high quality with very reasonable prices that we sell at for the quality we give. So the biggest problem I'm facing would be maintaining my quality and also thinking about scaling. That is one. And also how far, say if I'm going to ask an investor at this point of time, I have one store. Like you said, being present in every place where your buyer is going to be there. If I'm going to think in that terms, then I can come up with a list of options. But again, inventory for a fashion brand is enormous. There is no fixed product. Customers want new, innovation, new outfits, new fashion trends, every single thing. So to do that, how far do you usually go for funding?
And you are talking about women, right? Moms.
Yes.
If it was men, we are very simple. We don't
I know.
want.
I know.
Give us black and white. So you have complicated your.
I know. So we do drops every week for that matter. Like others, maybe monthly they do a drop. We do weekly drops, and so inventory is one part. But how far do you ask for funding? When you go for funding, do you go with an idea of next 6 months? This is my plan for which I need this much of operations cost or everything. You make a plan and go, or how far do you go with the plan and the investment when you go and ask for investment?
I think one thing I want to clarify, Kiran clarified it sort of after I spoke. You can't change how shoppers shop your category. They will shop however they are shopping. But that does not mean you have to win everywhere. You have to win everywhere. Practically, you cannot win everywhere. Fine. So you have to find what do you have the disproportionate right to win at. If that is your store or that's your community, you pick one wedge and first go deep within it. Like, can you become the number one community recommended and sold, fashion brand in Chennai? Fine. Yeah, and I would just then say, okay, how do I grow my community? Growing my community grows my business already. Fine. I can just take orders on WhatsApp and service through, some courier partner. Therefore, you're then running a very different business from what other people are running. And general understanding that investors look for is they want to see what is working and how much more potential is there in what is working. So if you say, look, I run one store, I do great business, and I want to go and set up 5 more stores, then they will evaluate it from a store model, saying what is the P&L of a real estate, what's the real estate cost in where you're suggesting, how does that P&L look? Then they won't particularly care about the fact that you have a community or a very well-loved brand, etc. They will look at different metrics. Or if you say my community is what drives my sales, then it is independent of store, right? Then it's a very different model of what are the key triggers, barriers, moats that you're building. And hence the way they evaluate your business will be very different. I think if you can sharpen what is it that is surely working, and surely working means it should be making operating profit today. Fine. What is it that is surely working? How much more potential for scale is there exactly in this place? This product for this customer, for this market, at this price point, what is working? How much more scope is there? I am actually a bit worried when you say I do weekly drops. Fine. Because a never ending cycle of innovation usually covers for weakness in core business. I would actually suggest that you consider for some time not doing innovation, because only then probably the base business strength might get revealed, and then you can figure out how to build that back. If that's good enough, great, go back doing innovation. If that is not, then you go back and first build on, whatever your core SKUs are, how do you strengthen that before you move forward. Fashion works differently, don't understand fashion very well, so maybe this advice is not applicable for fashion, so sharing it with that caveat.
So I have a friend who runs a company called Kanya. I don't know if you know that, but Kanya is basically into medical apparel. Okay, just like you are into apparel for moms who are breastfeeding. So this is basically apparel with some functional use, right? So their thought process was also, why are the medical apparel typically boring blue, boring green, So why not add a bit more vibrancy and all of that? And they also open stores. But they soon realize that stores as a sales channel. Okay, now the offline store can play two roles. If you are looking stores as a sales channel, that one store is giving me example 5 lakh rupees of revenue, I will put 20 stores, I'll get 1 crore of revenue. That's a very, very different ball game, and I can tell you now 99% of chance of raising funding also will not be there. Stores should be like an experience center, where because I don't know what to expect from a brand which is new, maybe I want to go and try it out once and then see whether it's fitting me. What are the options? How do I look in it and all of that? But that's about it. Today, I strongly feel most of the categories in India, you can really go digital first, and you should go digital first, because the downside of raising capital in an offline heavy model and failing are far higher. So digital jao, you build a good community. I think community is what is very important to build in today's world. Like, we build a community, whole truth builds a community of people who are looking for cleaner food, healthier options, which you're not getting. Once you build that community, once you build that trust, people will come searching for you, and they can easily buy you from online. Give them a couple of stores in the neighborhood or in the city where they can go, they can come, they can try, but don't make it a strategy where you have 25, 30 stores, because investors get scared. Right? When they know that the world is moving towards digital, why the founder saying that, I want to build stores? So, आप D2C करो, get to that scale, Once you raise the capital, you and the investors can together figure out the next, because they also now have skin in the game. They can kind of guide you. But today I feel, I mean, if I look at my category, or if I look at some of the other categories, I think fashion is one very good example also. You can get to some really astronomical numbers by just online. So I think just for a lot of people who are struggling with this online versus offline, I would just say if there is enough potential for you to get to that, I don't know, 2-5 crores per month number, just go online. Just forget offline. There will be enough time for you to go offline because your brand can die any day. That's the risk we start with. The risk progressively goes down as you scale. So the risk at 10 lakhs per month is very high. The risk at 1 crore per month is slightly lower. The risk at 5 crores per month is even lower. The risk at, let's say, we are at 15 crores per month. I can go and open 5 stores with the capital which I have. Even if they were to shut down, it really wouldn't pinch. But if the 5 stores were to shut down in first year of my operations, one, it will like kind of deflate my morale. Second, it will put question mark on the model itself. So I think online is what I would recommend. Now, I agree with Sriram. Yeah, एक बार क्या होता है ना, if you keep giving those weekly drops, monthly drops, एक तो you will go crazy that you might run out of ideas at some point of time. Second, now people have come to expect that this brand will do something new every week, so I might, and then if you don't, and if you have a break, you kind of then break the trust. यार ये खाली बोलता है करता नहीं. So don't set that expectation. Like in my mind, I can create 100 ice cream flavors. I know I could take 5 fruits, make a combination, permutation per se. Eventually, 80% of my revenue is coming from 5 flavors. The other 25-30 flavors are just a nightmare because they are not moving inventory. They are stuck. RMPM is stuck. And we were discussing this on our way here. Just don't do it. Like just figure out what the 10-15 are. Go deep with those 10-15 products. Maybe once in a while you can kind of come up with something interesting. But I think if you build a brand based on that, everything, something new, will just put you in a mess.
Thank you so much.
I'll add one general thing because I think this is true for all businesses. I think it's important to understand what business are we really in. Typical fashion business is actually an inventory management business, fine, and that works very differently. The skills required to manage inventory, forecast demand accurately, manage payment terms with your vendor and customer, fine. All of it works very differently from a typical ice creams business, which is a fixed sellout space business. Fine. There is a cooler only can take so much, therefore that is the total amount of ice creams that can broadly get sold. So it's very important to understand what is the underlying business that we are in. That is where talking to other people who have built businesses is helpful. I will also say that at the end of the day, entrepreneurs are people who take contrarian bets and are proven right. If you try to do what everyone else in the world is doing, then there is probably not enough space for everyone to do the same thing. Fine. All entrepreneurs who work have taken some contrarian bet in the world. Everyone wants ice cream that's exceptionally sweet, and Kiran goes and says, I'll give a no added sugar, ice cream. Fine. You take bets that are angular to what the world is thinking right now. That is the reason why there's a high failure rate. Majority of us are wrong. The world is usually right. But that 1% times when the world is wrong and we are right is when great businesses get created. So I would say on some stuff you should listen to what other people who have built businesses say. But in other stuff you should take your own call, because taking that contrarian bet is what is the base of entrepreneurship. And therefore, beyond the point, I would say trust your instincts about what your brand needs to be, should be, what is your bet, and just go deep there rather than trying to, go wide and do many things.
So thank you so much for coming. I'm happy to see your founders welcome. So today we are going to have some interactive sessions. So we're going to have one-on-one session with the chief guest. Then we are going to have a five-set chat session. But before proceeding, we would love to know more about this because a lot of, I think, performance and content, not good performance, I want to gather here.
you'll be able to interact with a lot of founders here, a lot of brands here. So, make use of the utmost opportunity. So we'll have a small ice breaking session, then we can go for a panel discussion, then we'll have dinner and networking. இதான் இன்னைக்கு இருக்கான மெயின் அஜெண்டா, சரிங்களா? So but before that, எத்தனை பேர் ஆண்டர்பிரனர்ஸ் மெட்ராஸ் பத்தி தெரியும் உங்களுக்கு முன்னாடியே? கிளப் மெம்பர்ஸ் கை தூக்குங்கப்பா, அசிங்கப்படுத்தாதீங்க. அப்ப தெரிஞ்சு சரி, கிளப் மெம்பர்ஸ் யாரெல்லாம் இருக்கீங்க கை தூக்குங்கப்பா. ஃபுல்லா சைடு ஃபுல்லா கை கை கை. நம்மளோட மென்டார்ஸ் நீங்களுமே சொல்லலாம். ப்ரோ நீங்கெல்லாம் எப்பயிலேருந்து எங்களுக்கு சப்போர்ட் ஆயிருக்கீங்க. ஸோ தேங்க்யூ. ஸோ நான் கிளப் மெம்பர்ஸ், ஐ கிவ் அ ஸ்மால் பிரீஃப் அபவுட் வாட் வி ஆர் பில்டிங். ஸோ வி ரன் டோட்டலி 4 startup communities in Tamil Nadu, each catering to the different phase of an entrepreneur. So we have a student community called the Hustlers of Madras. Then we have a community for early stage entrepreneurs called Underdogs of Madras. Then we have a community for women founders called Step in a Club. Then we have this exclusive club for growth stageல இருக்க consumer brand foundersக்கான ஒரு எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவ் கிளப் தான் நம்ம ஆண்டர்பிரனர்ஸ் ஆஃப் மெட்ராஸ். ஸோ திஸ் கிளப் வாஸ் லான்ச் வித் த மெயின் இன்டென்ஷன் ஆஃப் நம்ம ஊர்ல இருந்து நிறைய பிராண்ட்ஸை ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணோம், அதுவும் எஸ்பெஷலி நிறைய கன்சூமர் பிராண்ட்ஸை ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணோம் அப்படின்ற ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் தான் நம்ம எடுத்தோம். ஸோ இந்த ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் வந்து நம்ம வி பீன் ஹோஸ்டிங் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஈவெண்ட்ஸ் அக்ராஸ் தமிழ்நாடு லைக் ஃபார் த பாஸ்ட் 5 years. என்னோட வாழ்க்கையை இதுக்காக தான் டெடிகேட் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி 4 startup கம்யூனிட்டி நம்ம ரன் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். ஈச் அண்ட் எவ்ரி திங் கேட்டர்ஸ் டு த ஒன் ஸ்பெசிஃபிக் பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் அ ஃபவுண்டர்ஸ் ஜேர்னி. அண்ட் யூஐஎம் வாஸ் ஸ்டார்டட் ஃபார் அ ஸ்பெசிஃபிக் ப்ராப்ளம் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட். அதாவது ஒரு கன்சூமர் பிராண்டுக்கு எண்ட் டு எண்ட் ஒரு ஈகோ சிஸ்டம் இருந்தால் எப்படி இருக்கும், ரைட் ஃப்ரம் ஹையரிங் சப்போர்ட், கேபிட்டல் சப்போர்ட், ஃபவுண்டர் டு ஃபவுண்டர் லேர்னிங் செஷன்ஸ், மென்டார்ஷிப் சப்போர்ட், இன்வெஸ்டர் சப்போர்ட், இதெல்லாம் இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா ஒரு கன்சூமர் பிராண்டால ஈஸியாக ஸ்கேல் பண்ணி they'll be able to go to next level. So this was the ideation and this is the intent. And with this intent we went to Satish Kumar sir, who is the founder of Milky Mist brand. அவர்கிட்ட போயிட்டு தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஐடியா நாங்கள் ப்ரொபோஸ் பண்ணோம். சார் இது மாதிரி ஒன்று பண்ணணும் நாங்கள் ஆசைப்படுறோம். நம்ம தமிழ்நாட்டில் இது ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு ஸ்பேஸாக இருக்கு. ஃபார் டெக் கம்யூனிட்டிஸ்க்கு வந்து சாஸ் பூமின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு டெக் கம்யூனிட்டி இருக்கு. லைக் ஆல் த ஃப்ரெஷ் ஒர்க், ஜோஹோ அவங்கெல்லாம் உருவாக்குன ஒரு கம்யூனிட்டி தான் அது. அண்ட் அதே மாதிரி நம்ம கன்சூமர் பிராண்ட் ஃபவுண்டர்ஸ்க்கு we need to have something very strong so that we'll be able to help each other and grow our business to next level. Imagine இங்க இருக்கிறது எல்லாமே வந்து கன்சூமர் பிராண்ட்ஸ். ஒரு கிட்டத்தட்ட இன்னைக்கு மட்டும் ஒரு 85 கன்சூமர் பிராண்ட்ஸ் அப்படின்னு பார்ட்டிசிபேட்டிங். ஸோ ஐ பிலீவ் இந்த ஒரு ஈவெண்ட்ல இருந்து நிறைய ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் கேதர் பண்ண முடியும். அதனாலதான் இந்த கம்யூனிட்டியை நம்ம ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணதுக்கான ஒரு மெயின் பர்பஸ் அண்ட் மெயின் இன்டென்ஷன். நம்ம ஊர்ல இருந்து நிறைய பிராண்ட்ஸை ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணோம். அதுக்கான ஒரு ஈகோ சிஸ்டம் தான் we've been building in Entrepreneurs of Madras. And in that this thing, Private Dinner Meetup, for every 3 months once we do this Private Dinner Meetup. So last 3 months முன்னாடி we did it with Akshay Kalpa Organic Oda founder. We had a Private Dinner Meetup. Apart from that, we have this monthly brainstorming session. So each and every month we have this monthly brainstorming session where 25 consumer brand founders, we all gather together and we all go நம்ம பூஜா ஸ்ரீ அவங்களோட ஆஃபீஸ்ல தான் நம்ம யூஸ்வலாக அதை ஹோஸ்ட் பண்ணுவோம். ஸோ ஒரு 25 கன்சூமர் பிராண்ட் ஃபவுண்டர்ஸ் எல்லாருமே சேர்ந்து ஒரு டாபிக் பேஸ்ட் லேர்னிங்ஸ் எப்பவுமே இருக்கும். ஸோ ஈச் அண்ட் எவ்ரி மந்த் வி ஹாவ் அ டாபிக் ஆன் மார்க்கெட்டிங், ரீட்டைல் டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூஷன், மாடர்ன் ட்ரேட், ஜென்ரல் ட்ரேட் எப்படி கிராக் பண்றது, குயிக் காமர்ஸ் எப்படி கிராக் பண்றது, இது மாதிரி எவ்ரி மந்த் ஒரு டாபிக் பேஸ்ட் லேர்னிங்ஸ் வந்து இருந்துகிட்டே இருக்கும். ஸோ இதெல்லாம் வந்து ஒரு ஃபவுண்டர் இன்னொரு ஃபவுண்டருக்கு சொல்லி கொடுப்பாங்க. ஸோ எவ்ரி மந்த் திஸ் ஹேப்பன்ஸ். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு ஈகோ சிஸ்டம் தான் நம்ம ஆண்டர்பிரனர்ஸ் ஆஃப் மெட்ராஸ்ல பில்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோங்க. ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் வாட் த கம்யூனிட்டி இஸ் ஆல் அபவுட். அண்ட் தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் ஒன்ஸ் அகேன் ஃபார் கமிங் டு அவர் ஈவெண்ட். ஸோ ஹோப் யூ கெட் லாட் ஆஃப் வேல்யூ அவுட் ஆஃப் திஸ் private dinner meetup event today. And we have Go Zero and Whole Truth Foods as chief guests for the day. So Go Zero எல்லாருக்கும் தெரிஞ்ச ஒரு பிராண்டு அண்ட் Whole Truth Foodம் எல்லாருக்குமே தெரிஞ்ச ஒரு பிராண்டு. ஸோ எப்படி இவங்க வந்து ஒரு கன்சூமர் பிராண்டை ஸ்கேல் பண்ணி பில்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க அப்படின்ற ஒரு லேர்னிங்ஸ் தான் இன்னைக்கான ஒரு அவுட்புட்டா நம்ம மெயினா பார்க்க போறோம். சரிங்களா? சூப்பர். பிஃபோர் தட் I would love to hear some stories from you. Probably we can start with bro. நீங்க ஸ்டார்ட் பண்றீங்களா உங்க பிராண்டை பத்தி ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு ஸ்டோரி?
Hi, my name is Pratap. I'm a co-founder of a brand called Geek Technology. We are into smart kitchen appliances. We have been in the D2C space since 2019. So the journey has been quite fantastic so far. So we have been strictly online so far. Ventured into offline, burnt our hands, then retracted, and now we are focusing primarily on online space. Online லயுமே நிறைய தவறுகள் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். ஐ மீன் என்னெல்லாம் பண்ணக்கூடாது ஒரு ஆண்டர்பிரினரோ அது எல்லாத்தையுமே பண்ணி அடிபட்டு கற்றுக்கிட்டு எல்லாத்தையும் வந்தாச்சு வெளியே. நவ் வி ஆர் அட் த ரைட் மொமெண்ட் டு ஸ்கேல்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஸோ லாஸ்ட் இயர் வி காட் ரெகக்னைஸ்ட் இன் ஸ்டார்ட் அப் சிங்கம் ப்ரோக்ராம் we raised a small investment through that program. So right now in the phase of scaling up. I mean, favorite moment நிறைய இருக்குங்க. டெய்லி தான் அடி வாங்குறோம் ஏதாவது ஒரு வழியில இதில். I mean, sometimes, I mean, every day there is going to be a problem. Only thing is, don't take it to your heart when you go to sleep. That's all. நாளைக்கு இன்னொரு ப்ராப்ளம் இதை விட பெருசாக வரும்ன்ற ஒரு நம்பிக்கையோட போயிட்டே இருக்க வேண்டியதான். Thank you.
Yeah, hello everyone. I am Chandra Prakash, co-founder of Momscrap. We are also into manufacturing kitchenware and cookware products. And we have our own factory in Chennai. And we focus on creating products which are, space saving and focusing on the health and hygiene of our customers. And that's our main motive behind, creating innovative products. And right now we are selling on Amazon and some retail outlets as well. நாங்கள் எங்களுக்கு அடி வாங்கின மூமெண்ட்னா டெய்லி நாமளும் அடி வாங்கிட்டு தான் இருக்கோம். ஸோ இட் இஸ் பேசிக்கலி சர்வைவிங் ஈச் அண்ட் எவ்ரி டே with a lot of problems and how to overcome all those problems in a defined way. So we are looking to scale up our brand for the past 2 years and hoping to get some insights from you as well. Yeah, thanks.
Hi everyone, I'm Aditi. I'm the co-founder of Origin Nutrition, which is a plant-based health and wellness brand. We specialized in plant-based proteins. My husband Chirag is also the co-founder and he's here with me today. We started in 2020, but I think it started more as a passion project for Chirag and me, trying to solve a very personal problem, which is not being able to source in India what we wanted. Finally, I think we got such good response that it became a business. From Chirag and me actually like doing the fulfillment in our homes, like packing it in cardboard boxes, to now having a small team, small growing team. It's been an amazing journey, learning so many things along the way. I don't think I can say one particular thing, but literally every day is, I think, as someone else said here, is like, you learn so much, you get beaten down and you have to stand back up and like just get going. So I think that's all from my side.
Ma'am, entrepreneurship, okay va? So another topic. So I'm going to say block. You're going to talk negative. Entrepreneurship la enna paranjayathu. I'll say tackle. You're going to say or talk like positives on entrepreneurship.
நம்மளுக்கு எதுக்கு இந்த வேலை அப்படின்னு மாதிரி தோணும். அப்பப்போ காலைல எழுந்திரிச்சு ஒழுங்கா நம்ம சில்லா இருக்கலாமே, ஏன் ஆண்டர்பிரினர்ஷிப்லாம் இறங்கி டெய்லி வாங்குற அடியெல்லாம் ஒரு மாதிரி கஷ்டமா இருக்கு, கம்ஃபர்டபுளா ஒரு லைஃப் வாழ்ந்துருக்கலாமே அப்படின்னு டெய்லி தோணும். பட் இருந்தாலும் நம்மளால 4 பேர் நல்லா இருக்காங்கன்னு தெரியுதும் போது, எம்ப்ளாயிஸ் ஆவோ இல்லை கஸ்டமர்ஸ் ஆவோ இல்லை கிளைண்ட்ஸ் ஆவோ, இதெல்லாம் வர்த் இட். நம்ம லாங் டேர்ம் பிக்சரை யோசிச்சு நம்ம அப்படின்னு தோணும் போது, நைட் இந்த தூக்கம்லாம் வராம ஓவர் திங்க் பண்ணும்போது, ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் ஆகும் போது மறுபடியும் அதே ஜோனுக்குள்ள போவோம். ஸோ ஐ திங்க் இட்ஸ் ரிப்பீட் சைக்கிள். இட்ஸ் ஆல்வேஸ் அ பிளாக் அண்ட் அ டேக்கிள் எவ்ரி சிங்கிள் டே. ஸோ காலையில் எழுந்திரிச்சு நான் ரஜினி சாரோட பாட்டு போட்டு பிளேலிஸ்ட் கேட்டு ஃபுல் மோட்டிவேஷனோட வீட்டை விட்டு வெளில இறங்குவேன். அங்கேருந்து ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகும் பிளாக்ஸ். அப்புறம் நைட்டு வந்து எதுக்கு நம்மளுக்கு இது ஏன் பிறந்தாய் மகனே ஏன் பிறந்தாய் அப்படின்னு தூங்கிடுவேன். மறுபடியும் காலையில ஓகே நம்ம கிவ் அப் பண்ணக்கூடாதுன்னு கண்ணாடி முன்னாடி மோட்டிவேஷன் சாங்ஸ் கேட்டு, I think that's almost life for everyone here, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
So hi all. This is my first meetup. My name is Pradish, and I have a brand called Article. The purpose of this brand is to solve the neck pains, the back pains, and all the pains of all working environment. The product is into ergonomics. So we basically sell ergonomic furnitures. To put a long story short, Indians are very good and used to get adjusted to what we have. Table kullama irka, kunji vela sei, chair height irka, adjust paniko. So we want to change the perspective of why not the tables or the monitors or the chairs get accustomed to our requirement and how do we work towards it. So we are an online first brand. I'm majorly still online. Our revenue comes 85% from online. We are growing 40% YOY since we started 5 years back. And without thinking what to do next, now we are competing with very big brands like Green Soul, the Sleep Company, Wakefit, who are all massive giants in the furniture field. So we are the underdogs trying to just be as efficient and as frugal and as brutal as possible. பெரிய ஆளுங்க நசுக்காம இருக்கிறதுக்கு என்னென்ன பண்ணணும், how can we do it different and சொல்லிட்டு we are just basically trying to figure it out. So that's our game.
சூப்பர் சார்.
Thank
இப்போ
you.
எனக்கு இப்போ புரியுது சார். நீங்க ஏன் அப்படி உட்கார்ந்திருந்தீங்கன்னு எனக்கு இப்போ புரியுது. ஓகே சார், இருங்க சார், டாஸ்க் முடிச்சிட்டு போயிடலாம்.
Task.
ஆமா சார், அதே டாஸ்க் தான், பிளாக் அண்ட் டாக்கிள். பட்
Okay.
ஆன்லைன் கஸ்டமர்ஸ்
Mm-hmm.
இருப்பாங்க இல்லையா, அந்த வாங்குவாங்க ரிட்டர்ன் போடுவாங்க. ஸோ ஆன்லைன்ல இட் இஸ் போத் வேஸ்.
So that's the
ஸோ அதனால பிளாக் இஸ் சேம் திங். டாக்கிள்னா யூ கோனா சே பாசிட்டிவ், பிளாக்னா யூ கோனா சே நெகட்டிவ். அபவுட் ஆன்லைன் பர்ச்சேசிங் கஸ்டமர்ஸ், how many of you purchase online here? சார் இங்கே இருக்காங்க கஸ்டமர்ஸ் எல்லாம்.
so
ஸ்டார்ட். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பிளாக் நெகட்டிவ்.
என் கன்சூமரை பற்றி நெகட்டிவ் நான் எப்படி சொல்ல முடியும்?
கன்சியூமர், ஐயோ உங்க கன்சியூமர் பத்திலாம் சொல்ல சார்.
Okay, the challenge
Online.
why I'm not able to answer this right because I am in a category where returns easier போட முடியாது. My products are heavy and cost of COD orders கிடையாது. My average selling price is 15,000 and above. So வாங்குறவன் only serious ஆக தான் வாங்குவான். COD போட்டு return போட்டு விளையாடுற வாங்குனா it's on them because the logistic charge and everything will be on them. தப்பிக்கல, யோசிச்சு தான் அதுக்குள்ள போனேன்.
ஓகே ஃபைன், தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் சார். Who wants to go next? இந்த சைடு ரொம்ப அமைதியா இருக்கு.
Hey, hi. This is Roxana, BDM of Namcart. In founders actually are very mudila because they have stock in Canada. So we don't own any brand, but appa ye inga vandirukom appdi nenikalam. This is Namcart. Namcart என்னன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா it's an e-commerce multi-vendor platform. So inga irukra ellarume you can come inside our platform. This is the basic ideology. So அங்கே கனடாலேயோ இல்லை நார்த் அமெரிக்காலேயோ இருக்கிற பீப்புளுக்கு ஆர் நேட்டிவ் ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் ஆர் சர்வீசஸ், வி டூ சர்வீஸ் அண்ட் ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் ரெண்டுமே ஈஸியாக ஆக்சசபிளாக இல்லை. ஸோ வை வி ஹவ் பிச் திஸ் Namcart is like we wanted every consumers in Canada to buy this native products. So each of you can come inside our platform, sell your products. The major difference will be, you know, already mostly people would be doing businesses in North America, but definitely you will not be doing it in, you will not be selling it in CAD, either through a distributor or reseller or wholesaler. You will be doing it, and the margin will be in INR. But here you will be our direct service vendors or product vendors. So you can sell it directly in CAD. So I would really love each of you to onboard. We're going to have a grand launch in April 14th. So Neria celebrity brands kuda we have already tied up. So after this meet, I would really love to have each of your numbers, and we would like to really discuss in detail about it. Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity as well.
Thank you so much. Who's ready to tell a story next?
My name is Dinesh. நான் வந்து போடி நாயக்னு ஒரு ஊர், தேனி பக்கம், தேனி டிஸ்ட்ரிக்ட். ஓகே, நீங்கள் எல்லாருமே யூஸ்வலி நீங்கள் எல்லாருமே பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணுறது வந்து ஒரு பிஸ்னஸ் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணி அதுக்கப்புறம் நீங்கள் அதை டெவலப் பண்ணுறது பண்ணிகிட்ருக்கீங்க. என்னோடய ப்ராடக்ட் வந்துட்டு ஈஸி டு குக் மசாலா. அது வந்து பை மிஸ்டேக் ஆக்சுவலாக வந்து நாங்கள் வந்து இந்த பிஸ்னஸ்குள்ளே வந்துட்டோம். மீனிங் வந்துட்டு ஐ வாஸ் அன் ஐடி கை, இங்கே ஒரு 15 years ஒர்க் பண்ணேன். அப்புறம் கொரோனா பீரியடில் வி வென்ட் ஃபார் செட்டிலிங் டு நேட்டிவ். கிட்ஸ் வந்து எல்கேஜி சேர்க்குற சூழ்நிலை. ஸோ ஓகே, அங்கே வந்து எங்களுக்கு கோகனட் ஃபார்மிங் இருக்குது. ஸோ அதை பார்த்துக்கிட்டே அங்கே அப்படியே செட்டில் ஆகலான்னு போனேன். அப்போ கொரோனாவில் யூ ஆல் நோனும் எல்லோரும் வீட்டுக்குள்ளேயே தான் இருந்தோம், ஆல் டைம் குக்கிங். அப்போ என் ஒய்ஃப் வந்து எப்போ பார்த்தாலும் சமைச்சிக்கிட்டே இருக்கோமே அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு 2-3 நான் வெஜிடேரியன் டிஷ்க்கு மட்டும் சோலா ட்ரை பண்ணாங்க. ஆனியன்ஸ், டொமேட்டோஸ், ஜிஞ்சர், கார்லிக் எல்லாமே பண்ணிவிட்டு அதை வந்து அவங்க வந்து மசாலாவாக பண்ணி ஷீ ட்ரைட் அவுட். எதுவுமே போட தேவையில்லை, சிக்கன் மசாலா, சால்ட், அப்புறம் ஆயில், அவ்வளோதான். ஸோ அது வந்து ஒருமே நல்லா இருந்துச்சு. ஸோ அவர் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸுக்கு கொடுத்தோம், எல்லாம் பண்ணோம். They said it's good. அப்புறம் நாங்கள் என்ன பண்ணோம், பெரியகுளம் யூனிவர்சிட்டி நியர்பை, அங்கே போய் உள்ள அந்த போஸ்ட் ஹார்சி டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் ஹெட்டுக்கிட்ட போய் இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட் சும்மா ட்ரை பண்ணோம், எப்படி இருக்குன்னு சொன்னால் ஓகே இட் இஸ் குட், பட் கொஞ்சம் கரெக்ஷன்ஸ் பண்ணணும். அப்புறம் நம்ம சரி ஓகே இதை ஏன் ஒரு பிராண்ட் ஆக்கக்கூடாது. வி ஸ்டார்ட் பை 2021. அப்படியே மெதுவாக இப்போ வரைக்கும் நான் ஓப்பனாக சொல்கிறேன், எந்த பிராண்டையும் நாங்கள் பார்க்கல. இப்படி ஒரு பிராண்டு, இந்த மாதிரி ப்ராடக்ட் மார்க்கெட்டில் யாரெல்லாம் இருக்கிறா கம்பேரிசன் பண்ணலை. அவங்க என்ன குவாலிட்டி கொடுக்குறாங்க, என்ன ப்ரைஸிங் பண்ணுறாங்கன்னு பண்ணலை. பட் எங்களால் என்னென்ன இம்ப்ரூவ்மெண்ட் பண்ண முடியுமோ, பிகாஸ் வி ஆர் நாட் இன் டு பேக்ரவுண்ட், வி ஆர் நாட் இன் டு ஃபுட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி ஆர் பிஸ்னஸ் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி, நத்திங், எதுவுமே தெரியாது. நாங்களாக பேக்கேஜிங்லேருந்து எல்லாமே சின்ன மாடிஃபிகேஷனாக பண்ணி இப்போ வரைக்கும் நாங்களாக டெவலப் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ப்ராடக்ட் எவ்வளோ நாளும் தயாரிப்போம். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வி ஸ்டார்டட் 1 ப்ராடக்ட், now we have 16 ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் SKU. ஓகே, இன்னும் நாங்கள் நிறைய பண்ண முடியும். பட் இங்கே இப்போ நான் வந்திருக்கதே வந்து எனக்கு வந்து எப்படி மார்க்கெட்டிங் பண்ணணும்னு தெரியல ஆக்சுவலாக. எனக்கு வந்து ஒரு 20 கிளைண்ட்ஸ் வந்து யூஎஸில் இருக்காங்க, ஒரு 15 கிளைண்ட்ஸ் ஆஸ்திரேலியாவில் இருக்காங்க. மீனிங் இட் இஸ் ஆல் பை ரெஃபரல். எனக்கு வந்து ரெஃபரல் வழியாக வந்த கிளைண்ட்ஸ் மட்டும்தான். ஆனால் இப்போ எனக்கு அதை அங்கே கொண்டு போய் சேல்ஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு எப்படி பண்ணணும்னு தெரியல. இந்தியாவோட அங்கே மார்க்கெட் இருக்குது, பட் எனக்கு பண்ண தெரியல. ஸோ நான் மெயினாக இங்கே வந்திருக்கதே எப்படி ப்ராடக்டை மார்க்கெட் பண்ணணும், எப்படி இதை வந்து அடுத்த ஸ்டேஜ் கொண்டு போகணும். இப்போ வரைக்கும் நான் ரெஃபரலில் மட்டும்தான் பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருக்கேன். எனக்கு ஸ்டோர்ஸ் வச்சுருக்கோம், அங்கங்கே 2-3 ஸ்டோர் வச்சுருக்கோம். என்னோடய ப்ராடக்ட் வந்து உங்களோட எல்லாரோட குடி பேக்ஸ்லேயும் இருக்குது. ஸ்பைசஸ் டப்பான்றது பேர். ஒன்லி ஆனியன் அண்ட் டொமேட்டோஸ் மட்டும் வச்சு பண்ணுறதா பண்ணலாம், இல்லை அது கூட போடாமையும் பண்ணலான்றது எங்கள் ப்ராடக்ட். 2-3 கேட்டகரி வச்சுருக்கோம். ஸோ மெயினாக அதான் வந்தது. ஸோ நாங்கள் பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கல, பட் அப்படியே நாங்கள் வந்து அது ஒரு ஜேர்னியாக எடுத்து பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருக்கோம். ஸ்லோ தான், ரொம்ப ஸ்லோவாக தான் பண்ணுறோம். பட் மேபி ஃப்யூச்சரில் இது வந்து ஒரு மார்க்கெட் இருக்குன்னு நம்பி ஸ்லோவாக ஸ்டெடியாக பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருக்கோம். தேங்க்யூ.
Thank you so much, sir. Hello, everybody. I'm Shweta Kishore, and me and my husband Kaushik, we own this place, Nirvana. I hope everybody else is comfortable here. We own another restaurant called Lafayette right across the street. And I'm sure some of you would have seen me talk on social media. I'm more known for marketing my brand. So I'm learning entrepreneurship, and it's very inspiring to see all of you here. And Lafayette started off as a very simple brand. I was actually a home baker. I started baking on top of my grandmother's terrace with just 25,000 rupees. And now we're getting valued, and we're going for. Until now, we were a very small bootstrapped company, and we never knew that we could even expand to such a big level. So when we started out, it was a very small cloud kitchen. The concept was just mug cakes, where we sold cakes in ceramic mugs. And today we sell birthday cakes, wedding cakes, and now it's expanded to a viral dessert cafe. I'm not sure if many of you all have seen the capybara on Instagram. Have you? Yeah, so we became very, very famous for that. Our reel went to 20 million views. And that's when everybody was thinking, we had the concept, and we could take the brand to Bangalore and Hyderabad in the future. So we're going for investment, and we're planning to expand the brand, bigger and higher as well. So I'm very thankful to the organizers to bring everyone under one roof. So there's a lot of learning to do here. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, இந்த டைம் டிஸ்கவுண்ட் எதுவும் வரல.
கண்டிப்பா வரும்.
பண்ணிருக்கோம். Next time வந்துறணும்.
Everybody gets a dessert on the house.
Hello everyone. It's great. Yeah. Hello everyone. I am Disha Jain. I am the co-founder of a brand called Naturally Organic. We have been into business. Our website has just launched like 5 months ago, so it's just very new to us. We are a D2C brand where we provide 100% organic, certified organic products directly from our farm to the household. We have an organic certified farm in Sri Perambuttur, and looking forward to meeting you all. So yeah.
நீங்க எப்ப கல்யாணம் பண்ணீங்க?
நான் அதுக்கெல்லாம் முன்னாடி கல்யாணம் பண்ணேன்.
entrepreneur ஆகிறதுக்கு முன்னாடியே பண்ணிட்டீங்க.
ஆனா என்டர்பிரனர் ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறம் கல்யாணம் பண்ணாதீங்க. என்டர்பிரனர்ஷிப் பண்ணுங்க, இல்லனா கல்யாணம் பண்ணுங்க. ரெண்டும் ஒண்ணா பண்ணாதீங்க. ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். இவனுக்கெல்லாம் கல்யாணமே ஆகாது. டென்ஷன் ஆகுறாரு.
மேம் கூட்டிட்டு வந்து உட்கார வச்சதுக்கு
இல்ல உண்மையே சொல்றேன். பண்ண சாமி, அதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன பண்றேன்னு பாப்போம்.
ஓகே,
நான் சொல்றதுதான், என்டர்பிரனர்ஷிப் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா கல்யாணம் பண்ணாதீங்க. கல்யாணம் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா என்டர்பிரனர்ஷிப் பண்ணாதீங்க.
அட் அ டைம்ல ஒரு ரிஸ்க் போதும்,
ஒன்னு போதும். ஆமா, ஒரு நாளைக்கு 24 hours தான் இருக்கு, ஒன்னு தான் ஹேண்டில் பண்ண முடியும்.
நான் வீடியோ எடுத்து அனுப்புறேன் வீட்டுக்கு. ஒரு பிரச்சனை
முன்னாடி மாட்டிக்கிட்டோம்டா, தெரிஞ்சிருந்தா மாட்டிருக்க மாட்டோம்ல.
My name is Vinod. We are basically doing wild honey. That is basically like the honey from the forest, not the one which is farmed. So like purest form of honey. Before we started doing like monthly 50 kgs. Now we are doing around like 2.5 tons per month. So we have started with 0 stalls. Now we have like 15 showrooms, also online presence. So my wife is basically, she doing like beauty products, like personal care products. She's an Ayurveda specialist. So before we used to meet up in the stalls only. For she will be separately putting the stalls, and we will
இந்த
be
கதை
separately.
கேட்டிங்களா? எல்லாம் தானா பேசிட்டு இருந்தீங்களே, எவ்வளவு ஒரு சூப்பரான ஸ்டோரி போச்சு. யாராவது கேட்டிங்களா? He used to run a brand, honey brand, and he put stall. And his wife used to run consumer brand, and she put stall. And from that stall, something has fired up.
My partner approached her to make some of the cosmetic items using honey. So see, using honey, they made soaps. So we started selling the soaps, and we connected through that. Not we directly. My partner connected like with both families, and we got married.
Super, bro. Collaboration, na? Idu collaboration.
Now see, we have moved to Erode, and she now runs a brand which has like 2 lakh followers in Instagram, and we have like 15 showrooms.
So this is how you collaborate. Orthar honey brand, orthar consumer brand. Consumer product, honey lende consumer product eppadi pannalaanu or love story evolve aayirukku.
Her brand name is Oil Blends.
Hi all, I'm Jana. I own 2 brands. One Rajabogam, which is a truly South restaurant, and we have 2 outlets, one in Pallavaram Thuraipakkam Radial Road and one in DLF. And the other brand is a organic farm and an aggregation model. We specialize in greens and vegetable production in our farm. So the farm is in Padapai. And this is for Nitin. Like என்னன்னா எனக்கும் பொண்ணு பார்க்கும்போது entrepreneurship பொண்ணு தர மாட்டாங்கன்னு ஒரு 5 வருஷம் ஓடிச்சு ப்ரோ. அண்ட் பட் எனக்கு கல்யாணம் நடந்தது எப்படின்னா my wife now she very specifically said I want to marry an entrepreneur. So because her dad was an entrepreneur, அதனால அந்த ஒரு இன்ஸ்பிரேஷன்ல she like we met and we got married.
Keerthana Dinesh Kumar from Tiny.Foods Private Limited. So he is my husband Dinesh Kumar. So he was a professor for 6 years. So engineering college le.
Pakatliye.
Yeah.
Sir, endu chinnilunga sir.
Both are directors. So our ambition வந்து business start பண்ணனும் அப்படினு சொல்லி. So he left his job and started in 2016. So ஒரு business start பண்ணாங்க. And பொண்ணு பார்க்குற அலைன்ஸ் அதெல்லாம் வரும்போது எங்கள் அப்பா வந்து பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணுற பையனுக்கு கல்யாணம் பண்ணி கொடுக்க முடியாதுப்பா, நீ முதல்ல போய் வேலை பார்த்துட்டு வா அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டாங்க. தென் ஹி ஜாயின்ட் அ கம்பெனி. கல்யாணமும் ஆயிடுச்சு. கல்யாணம் தான் ஆயிடுச்சு, ரிசைன் பண்ணிவிட்டு பிஸ்னஸ் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுவோம்னு சொல்லிட்டு 2018 வி ஸ்டார்டட் திஸ் கம்பெனி. அண்ட் ஃபுட் மேனுஃபேக்சரிங்கில் இருக்கோம். வி ஆர் லைக் B2B பிஸ்னஸ். வி டூ ப்ரைவேட் லேபிளிங் ஃபார் மெனி பிராண்ட்ஸ். இப்போ வந்து we are going to start our own brand, launch பண்ற பிளான்ல இருக்கோம். So this may be a right time so to meet these D2C brands.
Okay, super ma'am.
Like Rohini said, thanks a lot for making this. This is the 3rd or 4th time I'm engaged with an EOM event, right? We started our collaboration a year and a half ago, November 2024, when we launched base.com in India. And since then, each of these events are done really well. People turn up, and we go to many events, right? We sell software, so we go to many events. But this event happens both ways. People come in with interest, people are engaged, right? People come looking for help, and they get that help, right? So it's been really nice to see that people share ideas, founders talk to each other about things not to do, and that's not normal and easy, right? And easy to see someone else as my competitor, same industry, doing something similar. I speak about my supply chain and what if he does. None of that, right? Like I see a beautiful community here. So a huge round of applause to people who are making this happen. Nitin, Rohini and the rest of the team. Right? And some of the quality of people who turn up here, the value they add is immense, right? The last time, I think the annual event had people from venture capital, big brands, right? We had Arjun Vaidya, I think last year. So we have, people from Go Zero. Lot of things to learn, right? So, so welcome first of all. I'd like to do a very small intro of myself and what base.com is. So I come from Chennai. I grew up here. I studied in Rajasthan, worked in India for about 10 years across IT and FMCG. I used to run Dabur in Karnataka. And then I moved to Europe and spent about a decade in Amazon in Europe. And over the last 5 years of my Amazon journey, I launched Amazon in different countries, which is when I came in touch with this company called base.com. It's a company from Poland. It's about 20 years old. And in one line, if you were to understand what this system does, like Shopify is your front end, base.com is your back end. So it's an OMS, WMS, PIM, ERP, CRM, listing, quick commerce, B2B, B2C, all in one single platform. Right? So that's what we are. So we expanded to India, built our India integrations. You probably know some of the big brands that would know OMS, WMS softwares like Unicommerce, EasyCom, Vinculum, etc. And then you have Zoho, for example, in some parts like CRM, inventory, etc. Right? So you probably know some of these, let's say, parts of what our system can do, but we are globally trying to be that one backend, right? So we have about 30,000 customers globally. We are the largest e-commerce software in the world, about $250 million in revenue annually. And what we are doing now is scaling aggressively in India, US, Brazil, and a few emerging markets, right? And the idea is to stop people from using 5 different softwares that don't talk to each other to have one simple single system that does things, right? And the difference is that one of the things I see in India, right? I've worked with brands in Europe for most of my time, and when I compare a warehouse that I've seen in my time there and come here, speaking of big brands like 500, 600 crore ARR brands, right? There is a massive difference, like the way people think. It's not about, we don't know what we should be doing, right? And there are some real reasons to it, Indian reasons to it, right? Labor is cheap, processes are easy, pick up the phone is our culture, right? And 2 things we do, pick up the phone and talk, and we say, हाँ जी कल हो जाएगा, आज नहीं कल हो जाएगा, right? That's a very Indian thing, and there are a lot of Indianisms in behavior, right? So what I've noticed is people need software that can customize to their warehouse, their business, right? So we serve a few clients from the community, like Ariro Toys, Lakshmi Krishna Naturals, Effilo, Sweet Karam is probably next year moving to us, and there's a few others as well. And what we've seen is people are doing some very unique stuff, right? So what you can do, for example, with Base is, let's say you have a Shopify order flow, right? Now you have a COD order, you have a prepaid order, parts are COD, parts are prepaid. Now automatically the system splits them into 2 different statuses. For COD, you probably call, confirm, then, or you put an AI agent and then confirm to avoid an RTO, right? So order status moves from called once, not picked up, twice, confirmed, and then pick, pack, delivered, right? And along the way, you have an automation that captures a picture of packing, and there's an email shot to the customer saying, hey, your order just left our warehouse. Pradeep, pack this with love. And then 3 days later, there is an email that went to the customer saying, thank you for your order. The trigger was order was delivered, right? You didn't do anything here. You packed, you scanned a barcode in your warehouse, and all of this happened. Now that's the kind of automation you can achieve, having your own order flows for Amazon. Amazon would be different. Like for example, a quick commerce brand, Origami, you probably know Origami, the tissue paper guys. So what they do with us, they find their fill rate. You have POs, hundreds and thousands of POs every month. You supply to these quick commerce or B2B POs from 5 different warehouses, from 5 different parts of your country, right? Not all are 100% fulfilled on time. And you know it, it's not going to be 100%. But as an operations head, I need to know where is my problem. Which warehouse did not receive and send on time. PO was 80 quantity, we could only send 70. Reconcile the whole thing. Very small, let's say single metric problem. But that single metric is one of the most important, you'd probably agree, in the supply chain aspect of a B2B ecosystem, like a commerce, right? And yeah, it's thanks to the team that put this effort as well.
So I represent a company called Profit Story. So basically we have built tools around Amazon, but we don't sell the tools, we sell the service. See, we onboard brands who are selling on Amazon and we audit them. If we see a scalability, we onboard them and we take the 5% of the incremental revenue we generate for them. So our thesis is like, I come from a retail background. Okay, yeah, I come from a retail background with 20 years of experience in retail and 5 years in Amazon as a seller. So we had faced a lot of issues with scalability because Amazon is pure tech play. Like without understanding tech, handling Amazon is pretty difficult. A lot of data points to crunch. And when we tried solving the problem for us, we had to build a lot of tools. And then we launched the company called Profit Story. Here we help brands scale. Like we work with a lot of fellow founders in UOM like Ariro Toys, LKM, and we have seen phenomenal impact on their accounts, right? So we use AI to crunch the data and we take real-time action. So the beauty is like we take the end-to-end process. So we will just tell you what targets we are chasing for the month and we bring you the results. So that's how we work. Thank you for this opportunity and nice meeting you all. Thank you.
Super bro, first of all,
Thank you so much for coming to Chennai from Bombay. So அதுக்குனே ஒரு big round of applause to our chief guest. Actually இங்க ரெண்டு பேரும் நம்ம சென்னை கொண்டு வரதுக்கு நான் நிறைய படாத பாடுபட்டேன் actually. So what I was saying to them was like bringing both of you. I went into a certain hustle for roping in you. I had to talk to Arjun. I had to talk to Abhiram, V3 Ventures. Then only I messaged on Instagram. And bro, உங்களை வந்து நம்ம ஸ்வீட் காரம் காஃபியோட ஃபவுண்டர் ஆனந்த் வந்து அப்போ அவர் தான் ரெஃபர் பண்ணார். பட் ரொம்ப நாளாக உங்களை நான் கேட்டுட்டு இருந்தேன். மனுஷன் ரொம்ப பிஸியாக இருந்தார். அண்ட் ஐ எம் சூப்பர் ஹாப்பி தட் ஐ எம் ஏபிள் டு பிரிங் ஒன் ஆஃப் த மோஸ்ட் loved consumer brands in India, and they are building something very amazing. So today, in the next few hours, we are going to learn certain insights from them. So major வந்து insights தாங்க நமக்கு ரொம்ப தேவை நம்ம ஃபவுண்டர்ஸ்க்கு. என்ன இன்சைட்ஸ் வந்து நமக்கு ரொம்ப முக்கியமோ அதை நம்ம எடுத்து நம்ம பிராண்டில் அப்ளை பண்ணாலே போதும், நல்லாவே ஒரு சேஞ்ச் நம்ம பார்க்கலாம். ஸோ ஐ பிலீவ் in the next few minutes you'll get certain insights from them, and அதை வந்து நம்ம பிராண்டில் அப்ளை பண்ண முடியும் அப்படின்னா do it and say whether it's working or not, and from there we can take the journey to next level. So bro, first of all, thank you so much for coming. So I want to start with like Kiran and Sriram, both of you guys. You guys have built one of the most loved consumer brands in India right now. What is the one major insight that you have gathered while building Go Zero, bro? Have you started with retail model, or is it like purely on quick commerce or D2C? What was the first 90 days was like for you? First 100 days of building Go Zero?
Yeah, it's a bit far because now it's the 4th year. But I still remember we launched in July 22, right? That is peak monsoon in Bombay. And anybody who's in the ice cream industry, and there are a couple of folks here, they know that monsoon is the worst time for the ice cream business, right? And I launched in July 22. Like I was planning to launch earlier in May, but as startups inevitably fail on their deadlines earlier, we managed to get the launch in July, and the first 90 days were all monsoons. Or I think of those 90 days, at least 89 days there would have been raining in Bombay, like when he started. So the first 90 days I was like questioning, like, did I do the right thing by leaving the family business or not? But the 91st day, when the sun was shining and we did a lot of sales that day, was when the belief truly came that no, you do the right things. There is no successful founder or an entrepreneur who doesn't have failures, or who hasn't failed more than he has succeeded, right? But the most important thing is that you will always be able to course correct, you will always be able to pivot. I always tell everybody that I have built Go Zero doing exactly the opposite of what I did in my family business. 4 things. The family business, we made ice creams which had sugar. Go Zero is completely zero sugar. In the family business, we had our own manufacturing unit. In Go Zero is completely outsourced. We don't own any plant. It's 3 models, 3 plants, pan India. Everything is outsourced. The family business was completely offline. So we had 125 parlors on where we used to sell ice cream. Go Zero is completely online. There is not a single offline store you will find, and maybe not even now in the next few years. And lastly, the family business was bootstrapped, but Go Zero has raised capital from some of the best consumer VCs in India, and Arjun is one of them. So everybody thinks that, having spent so much time in the ice cream industry, it's just using the same things and doing it again. But I've actually done exactly opposite. And yet, today Go Zero's revenue is more than the family business's revenue, right? So I think the summary here is, and Sriram and I were kind of discussing this after the first session, is that we both have very, very, very different views on what it takes to scale a brand. And I think therein lies the beauty of consumer businesses, that there is no one right approach, right? And you might fail several times, but it's just 1/6 out of the park is when everything falls into the place, and then it just goes from there.
Went completely against your family, like your family business was like proper traditional background, that particular business. Yeah. But what you have built in Go Zero is something quite opposite. Is it like a conscious decision that you took, that you want to try out this quick commerce model or VC backed? Or is it like a conscious decision?
So it's not a conscious decision. It's basically the need of the hour. So when you leave an existing, like the family business in an existing category, of course I had the knowledge of ice cream industry. But if I go and launch yet another ice cream brand with no differentiation or no unique proposition, then I will be just lost in the sea of brands which are already there. And then what difference do I make giving one more ice cream brand? So two things happened during the pandemic, right? One was that a lot of people became health conscious, and we were seeing that in the family business. We had some sugar-free ice creams in the family business also. The proportion of sugar-free ice cream started increasing. A lot of people started asking for sugar-free options, and we saw a lot of brands starting out. Like, we are actually the last guilt-free ice cream brand to launch. Like, we are not the first. We were probably the sixth ice cream brand to launch. Before us, there were 5 or 6 brands who were already launched zero sugar, low calorie. So I thought that there is some activity in this space, and then you do some secondary research, talk to VCs, understand that the future is going to be better for you, as the investor community likes to call it, better for you. It's going to be revolved around removing certain ingredients which makes it unhealthy in the first place. So for a product like ice cream, it's sugar. For a product like bread, it's maida. For a product like chips, namkeen, it's palm oil, vegetable oil, right? So any brands who are making better for you products in these categories will have to remove them and replace it with something else, and then make a cleaner version of it. Even something which Whole Truth does is kind of, I love this line, don't do refined sugar. So if you want to really stand out, and ice cream is one of the most commoditized dessert categories in India, if you want to really stand out, you have to bring focus and your own identity through your product and brand proposition. That's how Go Zero started. Now, of course, this is not what the family business was doing, because otherwise it would have been a natural extension of the family business, and I wouldn't have to branch out to start Go Zero.
Great, bro. My follow-up question would be to hear both of your insights on manufacturing and distribution, because you have outsourced your manufacturing, and I believe many in the circle of our founders, either they have their own manufacturing unit or they go with the outsourcing model. But you have your own manufacturing unit in Whole Truth Foods. I would love to hear both of your perspectives, the pros and cons of having your own manufacturing unit and outsourcing the model. Your insights and perspectives on it. You can, bro, Whole Truth, you can start, bro. Sriram.
First, I just want to say one thing. He's putting a lot of burden of, being insightful. I want to reject that burden. I don't know that what I tell you about how we've built our business can be copy pasted into you building your business. I will take the burden of being truthful and to try and share frameworks rather than instances of how we thought. That's the best that I think any of us can do. Beyond that, we all have to figure the right answers for our own business. So with that caveat, we didn't start off thinking we have to do our own manufacturing. We also started off thinking, oh, it's so easy, we'll go and get contract manufacturing done by someone. But we realized very quickly that from the time we were set up, we had a very anti-establishment take on food. We did not want to build food the way food was being built by large orgs. We had a point of view that we want to build food only with natural ingredients. And when we went to 3Ps to talk about it, they told us saying, you're so small, why am I going to change my manufacturing process or machine to build things the way you want it to be built? Get in line and make things the way I know how to make it, or take a hike. Very politely, this is what they told us. And then we realized that I cannot beat the big food industry with the same tools that the industry itself is using. I have to develop my own tools if I want to, challenge these people with well-entrenched tools. Like, just zoom out and see how unnatural it is that to make food with natural ingredients, we don't have machines. Because to make the job of machines easier, we've introduced chemicals in the process. Right? Like, rather than building human nutrition first, food has become built supply chain first. We need more shelf life, we need to produce it faster, it needs to be stable. So how can you design food in a lab so you can make it easier for me to produce. Is how food had started getting built. And hence, I did not have an option to say, let me use tools of the industry to beat the industry. We had to go out and invent our tools. So we said, we had a product even before the company started. It used to get made in a mixer at home. So we said, okay, what is the way of making this in a larger mixer in a slightly larger non-home? So we set up a kitchen where we burnt through some 10 mixers till we found the right mixer which can do the job for us. And then we started making food in a mixer and pressing it with hand and putting it in a pouch and selling it. So that's how we started. And since then we've realized that the surefire way by which we can maintain quality is only if we have direct oversight on food. About 10% of our business is manufactured in 3Ps because there are some categories which get higher quality when made at a larger scale. These we outsource. There are some categories which get higher quality when made at a smaller scale. These we make it smaller scale in-house because typical 3Ps will want large scale and not want to run small batch sizes. So we decide insourcing, outsourcing based on what delivers the best quality and gives me the best control over quality. And in most of the cases for the categories we are today, the answer has been to insource.
To hear Kiran, your insights on it.
I think while hearing Sriram, and because I've also followed the whole truth journey very, very closely, I think one thing which I agree on is that if you strongly believe that existing contract manufacturers don't have the capability to manufacture the product based on the philosophy which you are going to build the brand on. And I think that is very, very important. Is the call when you take whether you want to manufacture it in-house or you want to outsource it. So with Go Zero, the philosophy was very simple. I make ice creams with zero sugar, less calories. Everything else about the product remains the same, right? Ice cream as a product has milk in it, it has fruits in it, it has fat, it has cocoa powder and all of that, everything is same. So we have an easier way of finding contract manufacturers who can make the same kind of product that we want with our specification, and there won't be a problem. Of course, initially as the scale is small, the cost is higher, and then eventually you can grow and negotiate. But principally, we were able to manufacture it in the same unit where existing ice cream manufacturers make their regular ice creams. Of course, we ensure QC and SOPs are followed because we have our own team deployed at each of these units. But then we don't have to spend the initial capital on setting up your own manufacturing unit, right? Because we've raised capital that's come from the founder diluting the equity which he has started the company with. So at the early stage, when the valuation is not that great, there is a lot of premium attached to every rupee which we have raised. You should spend it where the value maximization will happen, and then as the company grows, as you raise more round, you progressively dilute lesser and lesser, and then you can use that capital in lesser marginal activities like manufacturing, distribution, and so on. So the conscious call we took was, and I feel that there's room for more, is that this money which we have raised earlier is going to be spent on what exactly is this brand moat going to be. And that is going to be unique products. That is going to be the brand identity itself, the unique flavors that Go Zero is going to develop, the kind of sweeteners that we are going to do, the channels which we are going to crack. Let manufacturing be done by somebody who's been doing it for years and decades and is happy to do it at a fraction of cost, right? I think that philosophy has actually helped us scale faster than our competitors who initially went and put up their own manufacturing unit only to realize that I should not have done it. And fun fact, as I was coming, from the airport, we were like, I had a call and Sriram was asking me. One of my competitors actually went to our existing contract manufacturer and asked him, "Can you make for us also?" So I think what we anticipated 4 years ago, now the other brands are realizing that we are not ready to manufacture it on our own because it's not very differentiated, unlike Whole Truth. which is very, very different from what the other brands in the category are doing. So slightly easier decision for me.
I was having this conversation with the condenser, or the co-founder of Fireside Ventures. He said one major insight saying that Nitin, we will be very much focused and interested to invest on brands which outsource manufacturing. So I just want to hear your thoughts on that. So that's why I asked this question, because most of the brands, certain brands, we have a couple of brands here. Revati, who is building the clean food story, she has her own manufacturing unit, and there are other brands who do the outsourcing part. But how do you maintain the quality, in the long run? What do you think about it? Since you are outsourcing it, is there a major problem that brands has to focus on?
So as I said earlier, it is not a big issue for me because 70% or 80% of the ingredients in a regular ice cream and let's say a better for you ice cream like Goju are the same. So milk is common. There is no sugar-free milk, right? There is lactose-free milk, but milk is common. Fruits are common. So the plants where we manufacture, and they do it at scale, they have already trusted sources of supply, and we give them the specifications. We give them the specification of the milk. We give them the specification of the fruit. And as I said, we have a QC team deployed at each of the manufacturing units, which inspects each batch as per the right SOP that's followed. So I think that process, we have a separate space in each manufacturing unit where our RM and PM is kept separately. So it's not mixed with everything else. We have a dedicated space. The SOPs are given and all the quantities are issued by the person who is there at the plant. So that way it's quite easy to, and as you scale, what happened was, for example, when we started, the contract manufacturer had 3 brands for whom they were doing the job work. We grew the fastest and we were able to eliminate the other 2 brands from that premises. So now virtually it's an exclusive contract manufacturer for me. So there's no headache of QC, it's gone.
Super, bro. So my follow-up question would be on cracking the distribution, because for a consumer brand, distribution is very important, and your major distribution factor is quick commerce, and for Whole Truth Food is also, I believe, you have an omni-channel presence. So I would love to hear your thoughts on cracking the distribution. So a brand like someone who is like starting a consumer brand, should they go directly to the quick commerce, or should they go to the retail model, modern trade, general trade? There are different models right now selling purely on D2C. So what is your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts on it? Bro.
Again, I'm sure Kiran and my thoughts are very different on this. So pardon the confusion. I am very convinced that unless there are strong supply chain reasons that prevent it, all consumer brands should start D2C. D2C is not only digital. D2C is you sell from your website. You could also, sort of set up a dark kitchen and sell from Swiggy, Zomato yourself, in which case you still have some touch with consumers. It reduces a bit, but it's also events. We were speaking about it earlier, going and putting a stall in a flea market and interacting with consumers directly and selling in an offline space at events. Because when you're young, efficiency does not matter. It does not matter what your unit economics looks like. None of it matters, because whether you're earning plus 100% or minus 100% on 0 rupees sale, it makes no difference. The only thing that matters is effectiveness. Do you have something? Do you have something that is going to make a difference in the life of the person who's using it, such that tomorrow if this thing vanished, that person would feel really bad? Do you have it or do you not have it? That's product market fit. The only job when you're launching is to check, do we have product market fit or not? And the fastest way to know whether you have product market fit is to be as close to your consumer as possible. Is to be able to call someone who bought, 2 things. You expected them to buy 1, but they bought 2 boxes at the first order, and ask them why. Why did you buy 2 boxes? What convinced you? And then they will tell you something. I saw this photograph, I liked it, hence I bought. Then okay, there is something in that photograph. To go to someone who gave you a 1-star review and ask them what happened, what did not work. And then they will tell you, no, this was too, it crumbled a lot. And we've had this complaints. Every time we launch a category, we get lots of feedback. Say it's crumbly, it's powdery, the badam fell away from the bar, it was not stuck on, and we have to understand that these are the pain points and then explain. We can't change it. Our product recipe is such that we have these defects, but now we have gotten much better at explaining these defects beforehand so that we can set the right expectation before we sell it. So to me, go D2C first, spend your time knowing your consumers, understanding how your product behaves in the consumer's hands and not just in your hand. That's the greatest thing to learn, and the best way to do it is be as close to consumers as possible. Learn only when you are confident that you know what product will sell to what segment of population, at what price, with what message, at what time. When you think you understand all of this well, try and see where else can I replicate as many of these things as possible and try and go sell from there. But start D2C, and D2C is not only online, D2C can be online or offline.
Why do you feel that we are always, opposite? I am 100% with you on this. In fact,
guys, please clap. We both are aligned on something.
But this is exactly what I was telling when I think there was the health, the women, the pregnant women apparel. I think she left. We bored her. She left. She was saying that I have a store also, and I am 100% convinced, just like you, and I think that's what it is, that going D2C in the initial phases of the brand launch is absolutely the right way for two reasons. One is, of course, you get direct consumer feedback and you are able to iterate on the version of the product, understand different factors till you get the right fit, and then you can put money behind scaling it through either more SKUs or more channels or more geographies. But more importantly, I feel the same reason that I mentioned earlier of whether you should do manufacturing in-house or whether you should outsource, the scarcity mindset. When you start, your capital is very, very scarce. Most founders, when they start, are either bootstrapped or they have raised a very small, I think we were discussing a seed round, because I don't know what Series A, Series B, they have raised Series D. I don't know what that, what is Series D, but I mean, I knew that business needs some capital, and for that I have to give some part of my equity, right? So when I'm raising capital, my very first, maybe the couple of years of my initial journey, that capital has to be very, very frugally used. You cannot blow it away. You cannot set up a 10 crore manufacturing unit. You cannot open 25 stores in Chennai. You cannot, launch on quick commerce on all platforms and then just blow it up on marketing. No, you cannot. So just like you decide not to manufacture in-house versus outsource, D2C, I feel, is probably the most capital efficient channel to learn a lot about your consumer and get to product market fit faster. Is one of the strongest reasons I feel that you should go D2C first. And it actually depends on categories also and the time when you used to do. Like 2014 when I started, when I joined the family business, and first of all, for me, D2C is not a brand. There is no such thing like a D2C brand. I am very clear D2C is a channel. D2C is direct to consumer. So for me, for example, even Swiggy and Zomato is not a D2C. There's somebody in between who at any point of time could break the connection with the consumer. So yes, there is an offline D2C channel, but that is not modern trade. It is your own parlor. So if I have my own parlor, I can choose the location. The consumer is directly buying from me. I can get whatever feedback, details, So 2014, when there was no e-commerce or there was vertical e-commerce and not quick commerce, D2C as a term did not exist. Parlors were the way for us to kind of, get direct feedback and know that, how does my brand compare with Naturals, which has been the more popular brand? What is the feedback? Do I really have to make some changes in the flavor? Is my pricing correct? Is my store location correct? Once I have these things figured out in the first 2-3 stores, then I can go on a rapid scale of expansion. So when I joined in 2014, for the first 1.5 years, we had only 4 to 5 company stores. In the next 3 years, we had 95 franchisees. And in 5 years of me joining, we had 100 stores, all bootstrapped and no venture capital, right? But that first year, we went very frugal, very selected locations, very selected flavors. So I think D2C is the right way to get a lot of feedback, and that's the only way you can get feedback. You can't get consumer data on quick commerce. You can't get it on Swiggy, Zomato. You can't get it on modern trade also. So D2C you should prioritize in your like early days of the journey.
From what I understood, so a founder who is starting a consumer brand should focus majorly on a D2C model. Either can be a stall or through their own website, but it has to have a direct interaction with the consumers so they can get the feedback directly from the customers and reiterate it, and you can take the model to next level. Correct? Super. Moving on to the next question, quick commerce. Quick commerce is one of the trendiest thing which is happening in the ecosystem, especially in the consumer ecosystem right now. There are lots of fads which is happening. There are lots of pros in quick commerce. I've been talking to different brands from our own ecosystem who have like right from Sweet Karam Coffee to Indus Valley to a lot of different brands who have said that there are very pros of quick commerce. At the same time, there are certain dark side of quick commerce as well. Since you guys have major, I don't know the distribution, I mean the percentages of it, but I believe for Go0 it is.
They're almost 85 to 90%
in quick commerce.
Of revenue on quick commerce.
Quick commerce. For you, whole truth, brother?
We're about 40% quick commerce.
40% in quick commerce market. So what is your insight, brother? What is happening in the quick commerce space? Is it like a really a fad, or is it like a boon for consumer brand founders? Is it like a boon or a curse?
It is a boon. It's not a curse. I think if it was a curse, we would not have 7 to 8 quick commerce platforms in a short period of 3 years, right? 3 or 4 years. 2021 is when Grofers became Blinkit. So just about 4-5 years, and we have everybody, including the traditional e-commerce companies like Flipkart, Amazon, now pivoting, and Big Basket. The CEO who was famously dismissed quick commerce, saying that we don't believe in it, is now kind of forced to pivot and consider. I don't think it's a curse, but what I do feel is that it's become a very, very strategic choice in a brand's journey when we decide that what is the right time for me to think of quick commerce as a channel, and whether it's a meaningful channel for me or not, right? In an ideal scenario, I would have loved Go0 to be a D2C brand, to start do D2C first and then eventually move on to quick commerce, because I believe that's what Whole Truth has also done, and most of the brands do. The challenge for a frozen category is that even if somebody wants to buy directly from my website, there is no way for me to send it to that person without the ice cream melting. Like somebody in Pune, if they want to, like if I do Meta run ads on Meta saying, yeah, here's a new guilt-free ice cream brand, you can try it. If I was a protein bar, it was easier. The time would have been much more than quick commerce, but I would be guaranteed that the product will reach to the consumer, in the right manner. It will not get melted like an ice cream, right? So that was kind of, it did not, so D2C was not, because of the inherent drawbacks of ice cream as a category and the cold chain which does not exist. And hence, instead of quick commerce, because this is what I had seen in my journey at Apsara, is that there were a few brands who had scaled only on Swiggy and Zomato, putting their own dark stores. So in Bombay, we set up around 30-35 dark stores, and we were able to cover almost 80 to 85% of the geography of Bombay. List on Swiggy and Zomato, do it at a fraction of a cost versus what would it have cost me to put up 25 physical stores, right? And then start selling. So when we launched Go0, quick commerce was not even in my, it was not even at the back of my mind. It was like, nobody knew, even when I went to my investors to raise the first round, we never discussed quick commerce. We said, okay, tell me when will you set up your own store, when you do the parlor like you did for Apsara. Quick commerce, we were not even talking about. But it's only when I launched on Zepto in December 22, and the fun fact is when I approached Instamart and Blinkit, they rejected me. In June, July 22, they said, we'll launch your family business Apsara because it's well known in Bombay and other cities. We don't know Go0, we don't know how much it will scale, we don't know even if you have money or not to put in ads. Zepto probably because, it was the challenger, the underdog as you call it. They were more hungrier to get more brands in their assortment. They still are today. which is why I was able to get a foot in the door in the quick commerce, early on in my journey. And then when I saw the green shoots in the first summer season, when we did 50 lakhs of GMV on Zepto in April 23, that is when I realized that, this is the channel where you need to double down. And from there on, I made multiple visits to Instamart, to Blinkit, sat down with them, begged them, you just launched 3 SKUs, start with one city, we'll scale, all of that. We listed on Blinkit after the summer of 23 and Instamart after summer of 23. So we missed the first summer season on the 2 biggest quick commerce platforms. But now quick commerce has become probably the most important channel for certain categories which are impulse driven. So ice cream, chocolates, beverages, munchies, these are impulse driven. For these kind of products, once you have cracked, so we've talked about product market fit, once you have cracked product channel fit, PCF, then you can really get to a stage where Go0, for example, is looking at building a 300 crore brand purely on quick commerce. So I think it's a matter of when, if you really are in a space like Go0 where you can't start D2C, but eventually you will get there. But don't be enamored by it, because now the cost of doing business on quick commerce has trebled. The ads are more expensive, the margins are higher, the payment terms are really, and the competition, like 7 ice cream brands or 8 ice cream brands in 23, and now there are 35 ice cream brands, right? So all of them are now vying for that space. So I think very, very difficult, but at the right time, you have to go to quick commerce.
I'll want to ask everyone here, how many of us have shopped at QuickCom in the last 1 week? How many people have shopped at quick commerce in the last 1 week? Almost all of us, right? So anything that is able to change consumer habits so dramatically, fine, is here to stay. Now, as a businessman, I can either say, oh, this has happened, I didn't plan for it, or I can figure out what is my strategy to play here. There is no option, whether it is good, bad, ugly, actually, it doesn't matter. It is here to stay because consumers like us are voting and saying, we like the convenience it gives us, we want it to stay. As long as people like us are buying, whatever channel, today it is quick commerce, a decade ago it was Amazon, Flipkart, a decade ago it was modern trade, fine, newer and newer channel formats will keep coming. If consumer adoption is there, it will succeed. We have to have a business strategy for it. Vending machines. How many of you have bought at a vending machine in the last 1 month? We have 1-2 people who have bought at a vending machine in the last 1 month. That was also a retail format that came in. Consumers didn't adopt it. It didn't succeed. The people who were running it couldn't find the right business model to scale it effectively. And when quick commerce came and offered the same convenience with far greater assortment, the vending machine reason for existence went down. So I will just say that if shoppers are buying on quick commerce, great, shoppers are buying somewhere. You have to go and figure out how do you win there. And some channels will be tougher to get in, some channels will be tougher to stay as winners, some channels will be, easier to get to small share but very difficult to get to large share. Some will be difficult to get profitable on. Every channel will have something that is good and something that is bad, which is why we have a mix of channels that we have to play so that we can deliver whatever our P&L and cash flow goals are while reaching consumers where they shop. So QuickCom is good because we make it good. All of us buy from there. Honestly, not much difference because it's part of strategy. Quick commerce didn't end up happening to us. We went into quick commerce. When we went, we negotiated margins. They didn't suddenly, pull wool over my eyes and say, from today, invoice is coming at different margin. So whatever margin I gave, I negotiated. Whatever, credit I gave, I negotiated. Whatever ads I agreed to spend, I negotiated. Therefore, all of these are conscious business decisions. Therefore, if it is working or it is not working, it's on me. I negotiated because I felt that that's the fastest way to gain distribution for impulse adjacent categories. Like what's true for ice creams is also true for protein bars. Protein bars used to be a 95% roughly offline business because people buy one bar. And online on Amazon or Flipkart, in order to get unit economics, you had to sell 6 bars, 10 bars, etc. People didn't want to buy so many bars at the same time. Quick commerce came, it started delivering one bar to people's home, unlocked the market. Market is now 80% online. So consumer shift happened. If we weren't there when that shift was happening, we would have lost that particular category. It's no different than anything else. If I run my own store.
Fun fact, if Go Zero was an only quick commerce company, like quick commerce was my only channel today, I was EBITDA positive. I'll be EBITDA positive. Yeah. So quick commerce is EBITDA positive for me, and I say this on record, but the only channel which is driving my EBITDA down is Swiggy and Zomato.
Oh, Swiggy and Zomato.
It's driving it down. No, but no, one second. I'll explain why. The reason why it is driving it down is not because of the commissions or the margin. Okay, it's actually lower than quick commerce. So I pay less to Swiggy and Zomato than I pay to a Blinkit or an Instamart. That's not the reason. The reason is that there are two fundamental reasons why this channel is not making money for me. Is I have to set up the entire distribution network myself. So I have to set up my own dark stores. I have to have a manpower there. I have to deploy freezers. The Swiggy rider will only come and pick it up. Quick commerce solves the entire mid-mile and last mile for me. So I don't have to go and replenish each of their dark stores. I don't need to have freezers at each of their dark stores. I don't need to have manpower who will pick up the order and pack. All I have to do is take the stock from my factory, deliver it to the Blinkit warehouse, and of course monitor the entire flow till the consumer's home. But that I can do with a 3-member team versus I need 12 members to do 1/5 of the revenue on Swiggy and Zomato, and hence at a CM2 level I am break even, but at an EBITDA level I am minus.
I'll also just say that in business, in order to scale, we need partners. We need vendors who will make, ingredients of our specs or find it from somewhere and bring it to us. We need customers who will buy our finished goods and sell it. We need courier partners who will carry our, merchandise to the shopper. Fine. So we need partners in order to win in business. There is nobody here who's running a business where end to end, everything from seed to, final cash collection is being done in-house. Right? Even the most D2C of brands need partners. Every partner will have their own model and method of making money. And there is no right or wrong here. Just like it's business for me, it's business for them. The only power we have is to choose how to work with any given partner given how they are interested in running their business, and to see continuously how can we figure a win-win-win for me and my business partner and my shopper. How do all three of us win? This is the job of account management. This is the job of strategy, to try and figure out how we arrive here. Sometimes it means you have to make a different pack for a different customer. Sometimes it means you have to agree that, okay, if we hit this target, give me some rebate on margins. Or if I can keep your on-shelf availability high at lower days of closing stock, reduce the amount of credit. You have to find some method by which you can do something for the partner and then they do something for you. That's the only sustainable way of building business. What is a cost line for me is a revenue line for someone else, and vice versa. Therefore, there is no point in feeling personally about it. It's business for them and for us. And the onus is on both sides to figure out how can we partner together to create win-wins. There is always scope possible. It will be harder sometimes and it will be easier sometimes, but the scope will always exist.
Super, bro. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. Audience, our founders, next or a few minutes, and then we'll open the session for Q&A. So, what are the doubts or questions you want to ask regarding building your business, building your brand? What are the challenges you are going through? I want to give the mic to you guys. தாராளமாக கேளுங்க என்ன டவுட்ஸ். ரைட் ஃப்ரம் டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூஷன், குயிக் காமர்ஸ், ரீட்டைல். குயிக் காமர்ஸ்லேயே வந்து நிறைய விஷயங்கள் இருக்குது. Zepto is having their own platform called Atoms, I believe, correct? Atoms. ஸோ இது மாதிரி உள்ள நிறைய ஸ்ட்ரக்சர்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்குது. ஸோ கொஞ்சம் டீப்பாக நீங்கள் சின்ஸ் யூ கைஸ் ஆர் ரன்னிங் D2C brand by yourself, உங்களுக்கு இன்னும் நிறைய டவுட்ஸ் இருக்கும், நிறைய கொஸ்டின்ஸ் இருக்கும், உங்களோட சேலஞ்சஸ் உங்களுக்கு நல்லாவே தெரியும். ஸோ ஐம் கோனா பாஸ் த மைக். ஸோ டீம் இஸ் ஹியர். ஸோ ஹி இஸ் Keshav. He runs a brand called Cheers Chocolates.
Hi, I'm Chef Keshav. I run a brand called Cheers Chocolates. We are a B2B brand till now into gifting sectors and everything. So my question is that, so right now it's 90% B2B. We don't have a retail outlet. I mean, we opened only last year just as a experience center. So how do you focus to go into a D2C brand in the way we have so much of competition right now? And this is one question. And second is about the distribution. How do you crack the distribution strategy and how you guys have cracked it? And third is, at what level should we ask the funding, raise the funding for from the investors? This is what my company is completely bootstrapped. I'm the first gen entrepreneur, chef and then entrepreneur, so completely bootstrapped and everything. And we are a debt-free company. We've been growing each year and onwards. So how do you raise funds, and how do they look at us when we are asking for funds? So this is that. And one more thing is that one more question is that at what revenue did you guys think you have to check for profitability in your companies? This is my question.
தலைவா, நான் உனக்கு ஒரு கொஸ்டின் தான் கேட்க சொன்னேன் தலைவா. நீ 4 கொஸ்டின் எல்லாரோட மனசுல இருக்குது.
Boss, you have to check for profitability from the first rupee. We are like, even if you're EBITDA negative, we are always checking for profitability. It's just not there yet. From the first rupee onwards, from even pre-revenue, your unit economics have to be structured in such a way that your path to profitability is clear from day one. That much has to be clear.
என்ன கேட்டிருந்தீங்க?
So I'm a B2B brand. How do you go from B2B to D2C?
Your B2B brandல இருந்து D2C எப்படி போறோம்?
D2C, yeah.
Okay. அவ்வளவுதான் bro. வெப்சைட் போட்டு நீ அவ்வளவுதான்.
What's your B2B revenue?
We are more into gifting sectors. We make a crore or something like that. So if we have to go into totally D2C,
a crore a month?
No, crore a year.
Get to crore a month first and then look at D2C.
Okay.
There's enough potential in gifting. There's enough potential in B2B. There's a lot of potential in going to a big corporate, and then maybe geography wise, again, you can look at Chennai, you can look at other cities, so I think if B2B is something which you are good at, it's the DNA of a company. There is at 1 crore per year, I think it's maybe too early to think of D2C. B2B has a lot of potential if you can crack that. Like, I know a lot of B2B dry fruit stroke chocolate vendors who do at least 10 crores a month in B2B and are highly profitable. Even Farmly, like you would have, Farmly, right? Farmly is in dry fruits and chocolates and date bites and all of that. They were B2B for the longest period of time before going D2C.
Okay.
They were B2B first. Now they launched in 2017 or 2018, I believe, and for the first 5, 6, 7 years, they were B2B on dry fruits, chocolates, maybe nuts, makhanas, before raising capital and then going B2C. So I think a lot of room for getting to B2B. Understanding. So what B2B helps you understand is a lot of supply chain operation part, right? If you are, for example, into the dry fruit B2B business, it's a lot to do with the cycle of buying at what price, what cost, So Farmly was able to learn that first, so that when they go D2C, they are not reliant on buying it from some third party. They already have a strong network of directly sourcing their cashews, their dry fruits, their makhanas, everything. So while their gross margin at the product level is low, because the costs are eliminated and they've learned it doing B2B at scale, pivoting to B2C then becomes easier.
I think I just want to say this to everyone, that not all businesses have to be consumer facing, not all businesses have to raise capital, not all businesses have to be loss making. I think to some extent, this rise of venture capital and availability of easy money has, played tricks on our mind where running a profitable growing business is not seen as something that is sufficient. I will say that if you can run a profitable business and it is growing at a pace that you're broadly happy with, fine. It is very difficult in this world to find something that is working. Rather than trying to find the next thing that is working, just find how to do whatever is working at a, deeper way, better way is what I would suggest. I think there's a lot of seduction that comes from big valuation numbers and fundraisers and all of that. It only makes sense if what you have a disproportionate advantage in building can only be profitable at a very large scale. There are some businesses like that. We have to know what is the business that we are running. If there is a business like that and that's the business you're running and you're best equipped to run, then it makes sense to think what you're thinking. But if you're a chef, fundamentally your work is work of your hands. You make stuff, you create stuff, and you have, people who you can talk to who will buy stuff that you're making. Then fundamentally, so far, there is nothing in the business that demands loss making or venture capital or fast scaling. You can just scale at your pace. Today, if you have grown by 50%, grow by 60% next year. Fine, it's sufficient. There is no need to grow by 500% and make 300% loss. It is difficult to get a profit making business. It is very easy to make it loss making. It is extremely difficult to make it profit again. So if it's a profit making business, do the best you can to keep it profit making and not get into making a loss at all.
Super bro, that was like actually so profound. சந்தோஷமா இருன்றாரு ஒண்ணு அவ்வளவுதான் ப்ரோ. மைக் வேற யார்ட்ட இருக்கு? ப்ரோ கோலி சோடா.
Hi bro. We do manufacture Goli sodas, and right now we are in 6 states. We are most of a GT and Horeca brand. What I recently realized is that Swiggy approached us, the Instamart one, to place our product. Then I realized the quick commerce is cheaper than the regular GT and Horeca segment. So now if you are in my position, how much percentage will be a good win? The share and whether the ads, how much X returns is it giving for you in the quick commerce thing?
So he's building a brand called Goli Soda. It's a carbonated water.
Mr. Goli Soda.
So he's already cracked that modern trade, general trade method, and he feels that quick commerce is.
You can only say that you have cracked a certain channel if your revenue is more than 100 crores.
Okay, I guess it will be soon.
How soon?
Next year.
So once you reach that, like when you say cracked a channel, like I have
cracked means if launch in a district, will be in 80% of the restaurants. The Horeca segment, which recently we launched in Sangli, we are present in 80% of the restaurants in Sangli. So like that, I just say.
But so I'll tell you one thing. If 80% is in Horeca, now Horeca is different from GT. Is it GT or is it Horeca?
Horeca most.
Horeca is not a brand building channel. If you are 80% GT means you are in Kirana stores, local stores, and people are buying you from there. They know the brand they are buying. Okay. Horeca generally doesn't know the brand they are buying. Right? One classic example is Lahori Zira. Lahori Zira is available in lot of GT, but you will hardly see them on, quick commerce or, online platforms. Because it's available where consumer is directly buying it from the shop or they know what they are buying. If such kind of a brand then goes to quick commerce, then the brand discovery and everything will be much faster. Versus if it's a Horeca brand, it's a classic example. Like we used to supply, like my family business used to supply to a lot of caterers and banquet halls and the ice cream. But people did not know which brand of ice cream they are consuming, right? So we made money selling the ice cream to the caterer, but the consumer, the end consumer, that's the difference between a customer and a consumer. Consumer didn't know that it is this brand which I'm consuming, right? Now, if with this, let's say even if I'm doing 70-80 crores, if I go to a D2C channel or a place where consumer is searching the brand and buying it, I will have to put a lot more money to tell people what is this brand, why, what's its USP, where it is it available, what are the flavors, which if you are a GT brand, consumer probably already know. So is it GT or is it Horeca is the question. If it's Horeca,
Horeca.
then you will have to do a lot of work in terms of scaling on Instamart. Instamart will approach you. So I'll tell you how Instamart approaches brand. We all feel that, we have to go to them and we have to ask them to list. But if there are the local market has some kind of brand presence, or there are some null searches on the platform for your brand, they will want to get you on, on the platform. However, it doesn't mean they will make you a pan-India brand. For example, if the null searches are coming from Chennai, they will want you to list in Chennai, but maybe not in other parts of Tamil Nadu or India, right? But just by listing, will the sales happen? We don't know. So maybe you can test it out, but I would say if you still have a lot of momentum in Horeca, GT, you should explore that before going to quick commerce.
So I will first say congratulations. If you're on the verge of becoming a 100 crore brand, then clearly you've done many things right. It takes a lot of effort and not small amount of luck to get to this scale. So congratulations. And I don't mean negatively when I say luck. Luck is very important. All our stories, if we look back, we have been very lucky. We've worked really hard, but we've also been very lucky is why you come so far. I will say it's good news if Instamart is reaching out to you and asking you. As Kiran was saying, somebody is searching for you or some indication they are getting that people want to buy more of this brand, which means whatever product experience you have delivered for people has made them want to repurchase your brand, and that signal is getting picked up by an algorithm somewhere. So like list on Instamart, try and do it at a total spend level, which is cost of capital you have to give in credit plus your margins plus your spends plus I don't know what's your shelf life like, factor in some for returns if the shelf life is really low, factor in extra logistics cost that comes in, maybe shipping to many different warehouses, factoring all of that in. If you're, as I hear you say, it is better than your Horeca business from a P&L lens is what you're telling me, right?
Yeah.
If it's better, then it's idiot proof. List.
Actually, they're just asking 30%.
Don't say absolute numbers.
Okay.
Keep it with yourself.
Okay.
Fine. Because it's also, you're breaking your customer's trust.
Okay.
If you share the absolute numbers, he tells you in confidence with everyone.
Done.
So I would recommend never do that. Fine. But whatever they're asking you, if your P&L is better in quick commerce, fine. After taking all spends together, if it's better by let's say 5% more than what you're making elsewhere, I would say please go ahead and list and then dedicate your time and put one person you really trust to learn fast, to learn this new beast. It will work very differently from how your Horeca works, and hence it's almost like running a new company now. Think of it as you're running a new company which is buying Mr. Goli Soda from you and selling on quick com, and then this company has to build all these skills from zero. So your time has to go. If you treat it like a stepchild, you won't grow, and you need to put someone who you either believe that they will learn very fast, or hire someone who knows how to work on quick commerce, put them there. If it's coming at a better P&L, there is no reason not to go. There is demand. They are coming to you for this reason. Please go, please do well and get to 100 crores this year.
My question was that...
No, overall.
No.
Step by step, sir. आपकी जितना तेजी थोड़ी सब लोग कर लेंगे.
So the basic, are we getting returns on the ad spends which we are doing on the quick commerce?
I'm saying, why does it matter? Overall, if you're able to run a sizable growing business at a better P&L,
okay,
fine. How does it matter whether the ad you're running on Instamart is giving return or the physical availability is giving return? Fine. Because there is no one universal answer like, does ads on Instamart work? It is like asking, is water tasty? It will be tasty for some, it won't be tasty for some. So it's very difficult to answer. But if it's working in your P&L and it's a sizable business that has potential for growing fast, there is no reason to overthink this or double think this. Just go ahead and do. It will only help your B2B business even better.
A very quick check here on unit economics. What is your CM1 level at Horeca?
Come again, bro.
What is your contribution margin level at Horeca in percentage terms?
Percentage terms.
Yes.
Markup or markdown?
Like break it down for me.
Actually,
like,
my language is different.
Doesn't matter. Just break it down for me. Let's.
We sell to the retailers.
100 rupees.
Is it
as
mandatory
the
to sell it? Say it here.
100. So you can start from 100 and say break it down from cost of
We
goods.
sell at MRP
cost
30, retailer 20, and the cost of manufacturing is 5.
So what are you left with?
15 per bottle.
15. Like in percentage terms, what is that?
75, I guess.
75.
Yeah.
Do you spend anything on trade discounts? Do you spend anything on margins?
Where do you ask?
In Horeca.
Spend for the team is there, right? Team, distribution, and all the other steps.
So you get 15 rupees for every bottle sold.
The gross.
And out of that, what is the cost of distribution, cost of manufacturing?
We do
everything?
direct supply. So it relies with us.
So on every bottle, you have a plant where you make this?
Yeah, we have our own.
Yeah.
plant.
So on every bottle sold to Horeca, how much do you make? If that number is more than 50%,
Okay.
50, then you should experiment with Instamart.
Understood. Yeah.
So, I think that's a great explanation.
So I'm Nandita. I run a brand called Frelish. So we are more into fresh beverages and snacks. And we are a complete offline brand as of now. We work with channel partners, across Chennai and Tamil Nadu basically. And we've recently launched in Bangalore as well. So how we work is we work with places which have good footfall. So we our channel partners are we have about 500 channel partners who have shops, or it can be GT, it could be institutions, it could be however it is, but it has to have a good footfall. So that has worked well for us. But we also have a lot of demand in terms of like we have like students who buy our products in some hostel shop or something like that, and they keep wanting to know where would we get it, is it it's not available on Zepto. And we have a little bit of a challenge getting it into quick commerce because of our shelf life. We have about 21 days shelf life and all that, and that is a bit of a challenge. So do you think like actually having our product on these will complement our sales, and should I really, and what is that like a small, if you can give us a small trick to actually get into Zepto and all in spite of the shelf life, it will be like really helpful.
I don't know. I'm just, I haven't double clicked on other things in your product category, but prima facie, I would say quick commerce is yet not the channel for you. And I don't know, I keep telling a lot of people who I meet is, and Sriram used the word earlier, seduced. It's okay. It's okay if you're not on Zepto. Like a lot of people, they text me on LinkedIn DMs and say that a lot of time when we order your products on Zepto or Instamart, it will come melted, Why don't you go offline so we can pick it up directly, and all of that, right? So should I listen to 10 such people and go on a offline spree and open up stores? Maybe not, right? So I think I wouldn't say that, people telling us that, I am not able to get it on Zepto is the right reason for you to go and list on Zepto. The right reason for you to go on quick commerce is when you feel your brand is ready to take on the kind of challenges which quick commerce will give you, which you are not facing today, right? The classic example is natural ice creams. They also have a shelf life of 14 days. They tried listing on quick commerce because, there is hell lot of searches for natural ice creams on quick commerce, right? They have been having multiple visits with their founders in their factory that please come on board, and they tried. But because of the policy that you cannot have more than, or you cannot have less than 80% of shelf life at inward, and you cannot have more than or less than 20% of shelf life remaining before you pass it to the consumer, a lot of products used to come back, or they would be keeping only 2 or 3 or 4 of their best selling SKUs so that they don't need to bring it back. But it would still work in the case of naturals because the demand is so bloody high, right? Versus in your case, you would have to really invest a lot on marketing, ads, banners, search keywords to get that kind of pull for the inventory to get exhausted. Otherwise, Zepto will keep giving you debit notes, right? So I think to break that loop, we should first figure out how can I extend the shelf life of the product without compromising on the core proposition of healthy, natural, made with real ingredients and all so on and so forth. Second, keep doubling down on what are the other channels where, like hostels, corporate offices, B2B events, maybe resident complexes where you can keep kiosks or vending machines. Maybe those could be alternate channels for you. But I think quick commerce, given the shelf life, given the other complexities, I would say skip.
Yeah, actually, it's an answer I wanted to hear, and like I just wanted to reassure
the answer
myself
we want
that
to hear and the answer we need to hear are not the same.
no, it's just I just want a reassurance in this, because this is the same feeling that we also had as a with my partners and I.
So you're satisfied with the answer?
So I'm satisfied with your answer.
I thought you wanted to hear that how to crack Zepto, and I am saying don't go on Zepto.
No. Actually, I want to be reassured that it's okay to not be on Zepto also.
I just want to add one thing, and this for I think everyone in general. The opposite of a good idea is often also a good idea. Just like for some brands, going quick commerce first, going to quick com as soon as you can is a good idea. For other brands and categories, fine, not going to quick commerce at all till quick commerce comes and asks you, fine, hey, I want to list your brand, why don't you come and talk to me? Fine. Not going proactively is a good idea also. So there is no one magic technique that works equally well for everyone. And Kiran explained the reasons why it's not a good idea for you right now. And that conviction that you already had, that you found, I would urge that you stay with it. In the end, it is that conviction that you as a founder bring to your business. That is the only unfair advantage your business has to succeed, where there are at least 10,000 firms larger than yours and mine working in our areas of interest, right? So stick to that conviction.
I'm Subiksha. I'm the founder of Fruit of Hair, which is a personalized hair care brand, which is a natural hair care brand. Initially, we started out as a D2C brand with general SKUs, but we had problems in scaling, in distribution, in marketing. And I'm a first-gen entrepreneur, so it was a personalized solution. So right now, I'm in that stage. But the question I want to ask is from a consumer perspective, because I've been a very ardent consumer of both of your brands through quick commerce mostly. But I initially started with Whole Truths chocolate. I was mainly for them. It was their first product, I believe. So my first question is to Go Zero. Marketing or distribution? You were telling how your marketing content creation was. Like you created content on LinkedIn, you were telling how your content looks like. But I see a pattern in your distribution, which is a bit aggressive in a positive way. Like when I go into the guilt-free section of ice creams, the logo is Go Zeros in Instamart, in Zepto. That was a very clever thing to do. That was it. And that was an aggressive move. And that was very opposed, like that is very contradictory to Whole Truth, because in I might be wrong, but to find Whole Truth in chocolates is very difficult. I have to only if I do search for Whole Truth will I get the chocolate. So that I see that contradiction, and I'd like to ask Go Zero, how would you rely upon distribution that way, visibility and distribution, or would you rely on marketing more? What would you rely on?
So visibility is the next step or the second step. I have always been very clear and sometimes even blunt, because I have consumer VCs who have probably invested in a lot of brands and famous brands, and they always talk brand, packaging, and पहले धंधा बनेगा फिर ब्रांड बनेगा, सिंपल एज दैट, एज सिंपल एज दैट. तो धंधा बनाने के लिए you don't need a brand or a marketing, or you need a product and you need distribution. So always distribution, always distribution. And then see, distribution का मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप marketing, like, sorry I'm going in Hindi, like you don't do marketing or you don't do brand, like content you can always do, right? the level of distribution will then dictate the level of your content also. Like if you're small, you're doing Instagram, you're doing LinkedIn, you're doing influencers. If you're, a big brand like Whole Truth, you're doing TV ads. So marketing is basically just to let people know that there is a brand called
Fruit of hair.
It's available, right? But where will I buy it? I'll give you one very classic example, and I don't know why we haven't touched upon, is when I decided to leave the family business and start Go Zero. This was somewhere around October 2021. Okay. And I've left the family business and I'm thinking of my next, what will it be called and all of that. And December 2021, the first season of Shark Tank launched, right? And in the very first week, I saw a healthy ice cream brand who came and pitched. I said, yeah, someday I'll go to this, platform. And then after 6 months or a year, I raised my first check. And immediately investors said, let's go to Shark Tank. I said, wait. Season 2 also went. Then they're saying, okay, let's apply to Shark Tank. I said, wait. Season 3 also gone. Season 4, we applied on Shark Tank. But by that time, we had built distribution in 15 to 20 of the major cities. We were available in all the quick commerce platforms. We had 18 to 20 SKUs. If I would have gone on season 2, I would have probably not been on quick commerce. If I had gone in season 3, I would have probably been in 5 cities with 10 SKUs. In season 4, the full effect of the marketing muscle which I got on national television was able to drive sale because the distribution was there. So you have to really put in the effort to build distribution. Don't worry, there are 10,000 ways of doing marketing. Even going to somebody and telling, boss, will you buy my product is marketing, is sales in some way, or but build distribution. Without it, all the effort you put on creating beautiful ads or content, or it will not work if you don't have distribution.
Can I ask one more question? Can you give 3 points or strategies that you use to convince your VC? Like, what did you tell your VC?
So I think the VCs, so generally they will only entertain you. Like, for example, if you reach out to them that, I want to, first of all, they will only entertain you if they have a thesis on the underlying category, or, for example, when I approached the VCs, they were already doing work on healthy ice creams or low calorie ice creams or the zero sugar, market, which means they have some level of conviction, but they will only put money on the founder which they really feel is the guy or the girl to do the job for this. Sometimes, and they have a lot of examples, the right founder with a weak product or category can really pull it off. But a weak founder in the best category will not be able to, for all the. So you have to really, and it will show in the way you talk to them, the way they ask you questions. Your industry like the back of your hand, right? Please do watch my Shark Tank episode where Anupam Mittal, at the end of all the cross questioning and grilling, and Kiran, you are the perfect example of a founder market fit, because everything they asked, and that shows because I've spent 10 years in the industry, 8 years in the family business, and 3 years building Go Zero. So that conviction is there. You understand the why. You have that, because if I give you money and after 2 years, if it's not working and you say, yeah, okay, what happens with my money? So I really want to back the founder. So convincing doesn't require a lot of things if the founder quality shines through. But then there are certain things like, why do you think that zero sugar is the right category? Because, there are all these fancy terms like TAM, SOM, like, at that point of time, zero sugar was hardly 1% of the entire ice cream category, right? So the TAM is obviously not there. So we are basically building the category. So why do you think you are building the category? Your knowledge in the domain, your expertise in the domain, and some proof of concept. So in my case, the proof of concept was my family business where I had scaled it to a certain level, right? So do you have that? Do you have some track record, even if you're a first time founder? Do you have some track record of building something that will convince the investors even more? And they love hearing a story, because they might ask you for a pitch deck and 5-year projections and all of that. And in all probability, you will not even reach half of what it is. But to convince them to give the money today for something which you think will happen 5 years later, there has to be a lot of storytelling, there has to be a lot of conviction. So I think that is what will convince VCs.
I believe this market is moving more towards experimental purchasing, more than retention of consumers. So what will you focus on? Will you focus on acquiring more consumers, more customers, or retention of the customers?
It is always retention. I mean, if my consumer, after having tried the product for the first time, is not coming back again, I think I've fundamentally failed as a brand, as a product, right? So, I mean, quick commerce basically, because every day there are so many new dark stores, so many new cities, so many people downloading the quick commerce apps. So the rate of which you're acquiring new consumers goes up at a very exponential scale. But we rigorously track our repeat rates. We rigorously track our organic to inorganic share of sales. I mean, that is actually the litmus test that people are buying you for the product and the value proposition, and not because you gave them a BOGO offer. So yeah, retention is always the gold dust.
I think when we start businesses, there is this temptation, particularly if we have seen some other large business as an employee, there is this temptation to build world class in every dimension right from the word go. Fine. If you are a 50,000 crore company, you need to be 90th percentile or better in every dimension. But to get to a 5 crore company, you actually don't need to be world class at everything. You need one or maximum of two things that you want to be world class at, and these should be things that matter to your category and your brand. Like, you're building a hair care brand, you're world class at legal is not relevant. Fine. But one or two things that you're world class at, fine, and just build that point of leverage. You will get your first 10,000 shoppers because you're world class at that one thing. Because there will be enough people for whom that one thing matters that they will ignore everything else. You will raise your first fundraise if you need because of that one thing. Fine. Find that one thing which is relevant to whatever you're building, where you will be world class at, because building that one skill itself takes a lot of time and energy and effort. Fine. So just focus on that thing. Try to keep everything else head above water. Be in 50th percentile, don't be in 20th percentile, but you don't have to be world class at everything.
Thank you.
Super, bro. Thank you so much for sharing a lot of insights. Can you guys give a round of applause to our chief guest? So gave a lot of insights to us. So guest, I would request you to take your seats. Naiman, ஒரு seat மட்டும் உங்களுக்கு போடு.
As a representative of the EOM club members, thank you so much. One of the finest sessions we had. Two entirely different concepts. Every one of the entrepreneur has a fear. Whenever we make a decision, like the girl who just spoke, everyone we make a decision. We never know it is a right decision or a wrong decision. And it is always good to hear another person's view that says it's okay to go ahead. It's okay to go with your conviction. And, great thanks to Nitin, for all the struggles that has gone through to bring you here. And thank you so much.
One last anecdote. Sorry, I love to talk, sorry. But on that note, right, it's about the decision making. It's absolutely about, and it's about getting your decision right when, earlier Sriram was saying that 1% decision will turn out to be right when the world thinks you are wrong. When I went to raise capital, of course, I took the products. This is what zero sugar tastes like and everything. The investors loved the product. It's tasty. There's no sugar and everything. They did not like the brand name. And this is a fact. And later on, there was a LinkedIn post by the same investor saying, so I told him, why I feel that this is the right name. He said, we just don't like zero. It's very negative, let's change the brand name. They gave me 5 options, all of that, and I told them, this is the name that is going to become synonymous with guilt-free in the future. If you want to bet on it, you please give me the check, but the name will not change. After 3 years, you can go and check. Deepak Shadatpuri from DSG wrote a LinkedIn post saying that thank God Kiran didn't listen to us. And this is the right name, because today it's Coke Zero. it's zero maida bread, it's zero this, it's zero that, and we have it trademarked as Go Zero. So what was, and trust me, it was very difficult. There were 3 investors and all of them like sitting together. It's very hard to kind of still keep your foot down and risk losing $1 million of funding, because the word will spread out. Oh, this founder rejected DSG's money because he did not want to change the brand name, and this is, maybe I did not know if somebody else would back me then or not, but I still stood the ground. I said, no, this is the brand name. So I think that conviction is what makes or breaks a founder. That nobody should give up.
For to yourself, for being a founder is not an easy journey. And நீங்கள் நம்மளோட கிளப் மெம்பர்ஸ் மந்த்லி மீட்டப்பில் நான் நிறைய பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கேன். ஸோ லாஸ்ட் மந்த்லி மீட்டப்பெல்லாம் வந்து நிறைய ரொம்ப எமோஷ்னலாக நிறைய விஷயங்கள் நடந்துச்சு. லைக் ஓப்பன் அப் பண்ணி நிறைய பேசினாங்க. ஸோ பீங் அ ஃபவுண்டர் இஸ் நாட் அன் ஈஸி டாஸ்க். ஸோ ஹியூஜ் ரவுண்ட் ஆஃப் ஒன்ஸ் அகேன் ஹியூஜ் ரவுண்ட் ஆஃப் அப்ளோஸ் டு உங்களுக்கு. அண்ட் வில் ஃபினிஷ் ராப் திஸ் செஷன். தேங்க்யூ கைஸ், தேங்க்யூ. சூப்பர். ஆல்ரெடி பட்டியன் கருப்பட்டி காஃபி. இவரை நீங்கள் பார்க்காத இடமே இருக்காது. எங்கள் ஹைவேஸில் நீங்கள் கார் எடுத்துகிட்டு சென்னையிலேருந்து நீங்கள் திருநெல்வேலி பக்கம் ஃபுல்லாக போனீங்கன்னா ப்ரோட ஷாப்ஸ் எல்லா இடத்துலையும் இருக்கும். ப்ரோ ஒரு நிமிஷம் வாங்க. உங்களோட ஒரு நம்ம திருநெல்வேலியிலேருந்து வந்து நம்ம ஊர்லேருந்து ஒரு 100 crore பிராண்ட் அவங்க பில்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, அதுவும் பூட் ஸ்டாப்டா. ஸோ அதுக்கு ஒரு பிக் ரவுண்ட் ஆஃப் அப்ளோஸ் நம்ம கொடுக்கலாம். ப்ரோ நீங்கள் ஒரு சின்ன நம்ம ஒரு ஃபியூ வேர்ட்ஸ் ப்ரோ நம்ம ஆண்டர்பிரினர்ஸ்க்கு.
இது ஒரு ரொம்ப ஒரு அருமையான ஒரு ஒரு விஷயமாக தான் நாங்கள் பார்க்குறேன். ஏன்னா ஒரு மீட்டிங் ஒரு 3-4 மந்த்துக்கு முன்னாடி தான் நான் இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு இருக்குன்னு சொல்லி பிரதர் கூப்பிடும்போது நாங்கள் வந்திருந்தேன். அப்போது ஒரு விஷயங்கள் நான் வந்து எங்களோட ஜேர்னியை வந்து நான் பேசும்போது தான் எனக்கு உண்மையால் இவ்வளோ ஒரு நெட்வொர்க்கிங்கில் வந்து இவ்வளோ ஒரு விஷயங்கள் வந்து கற்றுக்க முடியுன்றதை இது பண்ணோம். நான் வந்து ரொம்ப பெரிய லெவலில் நெட்வொர்க்கிங்கில் கலந்துக்கிட்டது கிடையாது. ஏன்னா நாங்கள் எங்களோட ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸாக சேர்ந்து நாங்கள் வந்து இது பண்ணால் நிறைய வீடியோஸ் பார்த்து சில ஆடியோ லேர்னிங்ஸ் மூலமாக நாங்களே வந்து அடிபட்டு தான் விஷயங்கள் கற்றுக்கிட்டு கொஞ்சம் பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருக்கோம். இப்போ இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு விஷயங்கள் வர்றதுனால நம்ம எப்படி வந்து ஒரு விஷயங்கள் கற்றுக்கிடலாம் அப்படின்றத நிறையா நான் இது பண்ணேன். நிறையா ஒரு ஒரு ஃபவுண்டர்ஸாக நம்ம ஒரு விஷயங்கள் பண்ணணும்னா எவ்வளோ சேலஞ்சிங் இருக்குன்றதை நிறைய பேர்கிட்ட டிஸ்கஷன் பண்ணும்போது ஓப்பன் டிஸ்கஷன்ஸில் நிறைய விஷயங்கள் வந்து நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சுது. நாங்கள் அப்படி தான் எங்களோட ஸ்டோரியை நாங்கள் வந்து ஷேர் பண்ணும்போது நாங்கள் எந்தெந்த இடங்கள்லாம் நாங்கள் வந்து அடிபட்டோமோ அதெல்லாம் வந்து இதெல்லாம் இப்படி பண்ணால் இப்படி நாங்கள் மாறணும் அப்படின்றத தெரிய வந்தது. வாய்ப்புகள் இருந்ததுன்னா நான் ஃபர்தராக நம்ம பேசும்போது ஒரு ஓப்பன் டிஸ்கஷன்ஸில் நாங்கள் எங்களோட ஜேர்னியையும் நாங்கள் எந்தெந்த இடத்துல வாங்கியிருக்கோம், ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜிஸ்லேருந்து எப்படி பண்ணியிருக்கோம், ப்ரைஸிங் ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜி எப்படி வச்சுருந்தோம், கஸ்டமரை எப்படி நாங்கள் டார்கெட் ஆடியன்ஸஸ் ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணோம், பிராண்டிங், காம்படிஷன்ஸ், நிறைய காப்பிரைட்ஸ்லேருந்து நிறைய விஷயங்கள் நாங்கள் அடிபட்டு தெரிஞ்சு இப்போ அதுலேருந்து ஒரு லெவலில் வந்து ஒரு பிரான்ச்லேருந்து இப்போ ஒரு 70 பிரான்ச்சு சென்னை சர்க்கிளில் பண்ணிகிட்ருக்கோம். ஒரு காலேஜில் ஆரம்பித்த ஒரு ஸ்டாலில் இருந்து ஆரம்பித்த எங்களோட ஜேர்னி ஆன்லைனில் 2012 halwakadai.com அப்படின்ற ஒரு இதில் ஆரம்பித்தோம். அல்வா கடை ஆன்லைனில் பண்ணும்போது எங்களுக்கு அந்த நேரத்தில் இந்த அளவுக்கு ஒரு ஈகோ சிஸ்டம் இல்லை. எல்லாமே நாங்களே தான் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருந்தோம். அதனால் எங்களால் அடுத்த லெவலில் ஸ்கேல் பண்ண முடியாமல் நாங்கள் ஒரு சின்ன ஸ்டோராக போட்டோம், ஆஃப்லைன் ஸ்டோராக. அதுலேருந்து நாங்கள் கற்றுக்கிட்ட பாடங்கள், ஃபெயிலியர், ஒரு பிராண்டிங்னா என்ன, மார்க்கெட்டிங்னா என்ன, ஒன்று எங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு ஜேர்னியை வந்து நிறைய விஷயங்களை கற்றுக் கொடுத்தது. அது வந்து ஒரு எல்லாருக்குமே அது வந்து ஒரு ஒரு நாங்கள் எங்களோட விஷயங்களை சொல்லும்போது நம்ம இப்போ இப்படி பண்ணியிருந்தால் நல்லா இருக்குமோ அப்படின்றது நிறைய பேருக்கு தெரியும். அடுத்த இதில் நம்ம ஃப்ரீயாக பேசும்போது நான் டிஸ்கஷன் பண்ணலாம். ரொம்ப நன்றி. ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு வாய்ப்பு. அவங்களோட ஸ்பீச்செல்லாம் கேட்கும்போது ரொம்ப ஒரு விஷயங்கள் கற்றுக்கிட்டோம். தேங்க்யூ.
ஸோ கேன் யூ கைஸ் கிவ் அ பிக் ரவுண்ட் ஆஃப் அப்ளாஸ் டு ஆனந்த், ஃபவுண்டர் ஆஃப் வசந்த பவன், நம்ம வீட்டு வசந்த பவன். ஸோ தேங்க்யூ ப்ரோ. ஸோ ப்ரோ வந்து நாங்கள் அண்டர்டாக் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண டைம்லேருந்து வந்து நம்ம பழக்கம், கரெக்டுங்களா? அண்டர்டாக்ஸ் அப்போ ஆரம்பிச்சதுலேருந்து வி பின் ட்ராவலிங் டுகெதர். அண்ட் தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் ஃபார் கமிங் ப்ரோ. பயங்கர டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர்மேஷன் ப்ரோ. யூ லுக்ஸ் பயங்கர ஃபிட் ஆகிட்டீங்க. ஸோ ஃபியூ வேர்ட்ஸ் ப்ரோ. நம்ம ஆண்டர்பிரினர்ஸ்க்கு இங்கே இருக்கவங்க நீங்கள் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க, எல்லாமே கன்சூமர் பிராண்ட்ஸ் பில்ட் பண்ணுறவங்க. உங்கள் என்ன தோணுது அதை நீங்கள் கேன் ஷேர் இட் வித் த ஃபவுண்டர்ஸ்.
ஆக்சுவலி ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியாக இருக்கு இங்கே டு மீட் ஆல் ஆஃப் யூ. ஆக்சுவலி மீன் சி நித்தின் ஒரு 3 to 4 இயர்ஸாக பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கேன். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் மீட்டிங் வரைக்கும் ஒரு 10 பேர் தான் வந்தாங்க. ஸோ ஐ வாஸ் லைக் ப்ரோ, நீங்கள் ஒரு புது விஷயம் பண்ணுறீங்க, இது வரைக்கும் நான் நிறைய இடத்துல இதை பார்த்ததில்ல. ஐ மீன் நீங்கள் பண்ணுற விஷயம் வந்து எல்லாருமே பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணுறோம், ஓகே, பட் இவருக்கும் இதுக்கும் ஒரு ப்ரோஜனம் கிடையாது ஆக்சுவலாக. ஆனால் இவருக்கு உண்மையிலே வந்து மானிட்டர் இருக்கும், பட் பெரிய லெவலில் கிடையாது. பட் அவர் ஒரு கம்யூனிட்டியே இஸ் ஜஸ்ட் செட்டிங் அப். அது எவ்வளோ பேர் இப்போ நம்ம எல்லாம் நம்ம பிஸ்னஸ்க்காண்டி வந்திருக்கோம் இல்லையா, இவர் உங்களெல்லாம் சேர்த்து ஒரு பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்காண்டி இவர் ஒரு எஃபர்ட் போடுறது, அது லைக் ரியலி ஹேட்ஸ் ஆஃப் யுவர் டீம். I mean, it's really wonderful. Not many. I mean, அன்னைக்கே சொன்னேன், this will become a huge cult, bro. நீங்க பண்ற விஷயம் வந்து பெரிய லெவல்ல ரீச் ஆகும். I mean, I had the vision with him, and I really trusted his empowerment actually. So thank you. I mean, first and foremost, like I'm very happy to be here. Like I said, I mean, entrepreneurship வந்து ஒரு ரொம்ப ஒரு புலி வாலை பிடிச்ச மாதிரி தான் லைஃப். நம்ம அந்த டைகரை வாலை பிடிச்சிட்டோம், அந்த வாலை விட்டிங்கன்னா அந்த புலி நம்மளை சாப்பிடும். ஆனால் அந்த வாலை மட்டும் பிடிச்சிட்டு அந்த புலி போகிற ஸ்பீடில் நம்ம போகணும். ஸோ பேசிக்லி அதுதான் நான் நினைக்கிறேன் என்னோட லைஃப் ஜேர்னியில். I mean, basically, when we started, I'm the third generation actually. So the brand was started 1974 by my great grandfather. Then my dad entered the business 1991, 1992. Then from Vasanthapon, it became Nammaidu Vasanthapon. From Nammaidu Vasanthapon, post-COVID, we made it into VB World. சில பேர் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க VB World எக்ஸ்பேன்ஷன் ஆஃப் லேட்டா. ஸோ VB World வந்து கோவிட்ல we took a very crazy fall. I mean, most of the restaurant people who also went through the tough phase. That's when எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு லைஃப்ல வந்து எல்லாத்துக்குமே வந்து ஒரு ஹீரோ மூமெண்ட் இருக்கும். I mean, for every one of us, there'll be a hero moment in life. I think that stage வரும்போது either people break down, you go down, or that moment, the decisions you take or the things that you take, you can hit a 6. So it's like winning a game, the last ball you have to hit a 6 or you need to get out of the match. That was the situation of Nammaidu Vasanthapon after COVID. So when we started VB World in Annanagar, short story. So it was a 12,000 square feet. We opened an outlet. And Annanagarல வந்து இல்லாத ரெஸ்டாரண்டே கிடையாது, எல்லாத்துக்குமே தெரியும். Like name it, all the brands are there, everything. And the rental of that particular place was about 10 lakhs. And so 10 lakhsல வெறும் இட்லி தோசை மட்டும் வித்துட்டு ஒரு ரெவன்யூ பண்ண முடியுமா? I mean, இட்லி தோசை again, it's a low margin item. Again, we needed to do some kind of strategy to revive the entire brand, right? So that's when I sit with my team, we worked. Okay, we thought, okay, why don't we do a global concept? Like வெஜிடேரியன்ஸ்னாலே மேக்ஸிமம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பன்னீர் பட்டர் மசாலா, கோபி மஞ்சூரியன், ஒரு சுற்றி அவங்கள அந்த ஃபுட்டே தான் சாப்பிட வச்சுட்டு இருந்தோம். அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு ரிவைவ் பண்ணாமல் ஒரு புது எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் கிரியேட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு தான் ஒரு VB வேர்ல்டோட பிராண்ட் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணி வி மேட் அ குளோபல் ஃபுட். ஸோ நாட் ஜஸ்ட் சவுத் இந்தியன், வி மேட் authentic Chinese, we serve Thai curry, we serve lotus stem. We also came up with live sourdough pizzas. Then we started a new brand called Cones and Brew, that's part of our company. So we do international pastries, single origin coffee, and all of it. Otherwise, a lot of the South Indian brands were doing sweets and savories, right? There are giants like A2B, எல்லாருமே இருக்காங்க. Again, we don't want to compete in already 5 people. எல்லாருமே ஸ்வீட் கேட்டகரியில் பண்ணுறாங்க. Okay, we didn't want to go into the same space. So that's when we came up with a new format and we started Cones and Brew. வந்து இன்னைக்கு இருக்கிற யங்ஸ்டர்ஸ், I personally also like cakes and brownies and desserts. So we started a new brand called Cones and Brew. So to add on to an experience inside a VB World, அப்படி ஒரு பிராண்ட் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணோம். ஸோ ஃபஸ்ட்டு அந்த ஆம்பியன்ஸாக இருக்கட்டும், அந்த செட்டப் பண்ணிட்டு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டே ஓப்பன் பண்ணுறோம் அவுட்லெட் VB World. எனக்கு இன்னும் ஞாபகம் இருக்கு, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒரு கஸ்டமர் உள்ளே வராங்க. வந்த உடனே உள்ளே போயிட்டு he came outside. I'm like, what happened? Why did he go out? I'm like, அந்த கஸ்டமர் வந்து செக்யூரிட்டி கார்டை சொல்கிறாங்க, இல்லை நான் உள்ளே வந்தேன் நம்மைடு வசமன்னு நினைச்சேங்க, ஏதோ வேற ரெஸ்டாரண்ட் இருக்கு. நான் சொன்னேன், இல்லை நீங்கள் உள்ளே வாங்க, இதுதான் VB World புதுசாக திறந்துருக்கும், நீங்கள் உட்காந்து சாப்பிடுங்க, நம்மைடு வசமில் என்ன டிஷ்லாம் இருக்குமோ இங்கேயும் அதே உங்களுக்கு கிடைக்கும். தென் he was literally amazed. கான்செப்ட் பார்த்துட்டு சாப்பிட்டுட்டு he was literally amazed. நாங்கள் திறக்கும் போது we really spent 8 crores on that outlet when we first opened, and it's all self-funded, and we are self-funded company, 100% owned by us even now. So we were like I said, that was like a last 8 crores that we had to put. If that outlet was a failure, it would have been a huge setback. But it turned out to be a monstrous hit. We started out with 200 seats. Today we extended to 340 seats. Then we are clocking almost 2.5 crores on that particular outlet a month. So the confidence that gave actually transformed the whole brand and also the whole company, I would say. That's when we decided going forward all our outlets will be on par with VB World. So after that, we opened almost 7 outlets, and we're also planning to remodel all the old outlets to a VB World experience that's happening on the site. So this year, we are on verge of opening 9 more outlets this year. And not just Namaidu Vasaman, we also brought a brand from Dindikal called Ponram Biryani. I don't know how much of you guys know about it. Dindikal avangalo or 50 varsham brand. So we own 50% of that particular brand. We made the first outlet in Ashok Pillar in Chennai. So basically my vision is not just to have one particular brand, to have multi-brands, different sub-brands within the parent company. That is the growth that we are running towards it. And by the way, very happy to meet two of India's aspiring guys. Like I'm a big fan. I'm into fitness journey recently, and whole truth is be my byproduct always. Like whenever I need to have a happy snack, I always have whole truth. I mean, really proud of the work you guys do, and Go Zero, I mean, the ice cream also. I mean, I'm really happy to meet both of you. Thank you so much. Thanks so much. I mean, anything you guys can come and ask me. I mean, I don't want to take much of time. Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much. So I wanna in the moment I wanna thank someone very special to our community. Every month வந்து எங்களுக்கு இருக்கிறதுக்கு ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு இடமும் கதை பேசுறதுக்கும் பிரெயின் ஸ்டார்ம் பண்றதுக்கும் நல்ல ஒரு ஸ்பேஸ் கொடுத்து எங்களை வாழ வைக்கும் எங்கள் பூஜா ஸ்ரீனிவாசராஜா. ப்ளீஸ் கம் ஒரு ஃபியூ வேர்ட்ஸ் வாங்க பூஜா. ஸோ பூஜா ரன்ஸ் அ பிளேஸ் கால்ட் த லவ் ஹோப் கம்பெனி அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு, and she's also the managing director of the iconic A2B brand. So few words, Pooja. Thank you so much for all the love and support you're giving to us.
எல்லா ஈவெண்ட்லயும் இந்த ஸ்பாட்ல போட்டதே ஒரு வேலையா வச்சிருக்கீங்க நீங்க ரெண்டு பேரும்.
சொல்லணும்ல மேம்.
எனக்கு வந்து நிதின் அண்ட் ஆண்டர்பிரினர்ஸ் ஆஃப் மெட்ராஸ் ஒரு லாஸ்ட் ஃபியூ இயர்ஸா தெரியும். ஸோ கமிங் ஃப்ரம் அ லெகசி பிராண்ட், ஆஸ் அ தேர்ட் ஜென்ரேஷன் ஒரு கம்ஃபர்டபுள் ஸ்பேஸ்லேருந்து தான் வந்து நான் பிஸ்னஸ் ஸ்கூலில் வந்து என்டர் ஆனேன். when I started Love Hope Company because of my personal experience with mental health, அப்போ தான் வந்து அந்த ஸ்டார்ட் அப் ஈகோ சிஸ்டம் எதுவுமே I didn't do too much of preparation. என்ன நம்ம கிரியேட் பண்ணோன்ற ஒரு ஐடியாவில் மட்டும் உள்ளே இறங்கினதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் அதுக்குள்ள எவ்வளோ ஒரு ஃபவுண்டர்னா எவ்வளோ ஒரு டீடியஸான வேலை, நம்ம லைஃப்ல என்ன நடந்தாலும் நம்ம பர்சனல் சுச்சுவேஷனாக இருக்கட்டும் எதுவாக இருந்தாலுமே just showing up itself was a huge work. So on the time when I got to know about a community like Entrepreneurs of Madras and அதுக்கு மேலே Underdogs பண்ணும்போது, having a community where you can just come together, மனசை விட்டு பேசுறது, எல்லாமே வந்து நான் இப்போ ஒருத்தவங்க கிட்ட பேசின எனக்கு டிரான்சாக்ஷன் என்ன கிடைக்கும்னு இல்லாமல் வல்னரபிளாக ஒரு இடத்த போய் நம்ம தோன்றது பேசி அது ஒரு கம்யூனிட்டியாக மற்றவங்க வந்து நான் உங்களுக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்ணுறேன் இல்லை நான் என்னோட எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸை ஷேர் பண்ணுறேன்னு சொல்கிறதே வந்து ஒரு பெரிய பெரிய விஷயம். ஏன்னா ஐ திங்க் ஸ்டார்ட் அப் எல்லாமே ஒரு லாஸ்ட் ஃபியூ இயர்ஸாக ஒரு வெறும் ஹாட் செல்லிங் வேர்ட் அண்ட் ஹாட் செல்லிங் திங் தட் பீப்புள் வாண்ட் டு கெட் இன் டு. காலேஜ் படிக்கும் போதோ ஸ்கூல் படிக்கும் போது வி வர் நாட் ப்ரிப்பேர்ட் டு பி ஃபவுண்டர்ஸ் ஒரு ஆண்டர்பிரினர்ஸ். ஒரு பிஸ்னஸ் எப்படி ஆக்சுவலாக ரன் பண்ணுன்றது வந்து பெருசாக நம்ம ட்ரெயின் ஆகல, அட்லீஸ்ட் திஸ் ஜென்ரேஷன் ஆஃப் ஆண்டர்பிரினர்ஸ். ஸோ லேர்னிங் ஃப்ரம் ஃபெலோ பீப்புள்ஸ் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ், தப்பு பண்ணுறதுக்கு முன்னாடியே மற்றவங்களோட எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸை நம்ம நிறைய கற்றுக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு ஸ்பேஸ் இருக்கும்போது, அதுவும் நம்ம ஊரில் ஒருத்தவங்க எடுத்து இதெல்லாம் பண்ணும்போது வந்து இட்ஸ் ரியலி யூஸ்ஃபுல் அண்ட் ரியலி ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல். எஸ்பெஷலி டயர் 2 டயர் 3ல இருக்கிறவங்களுக்கு இந்த அளவு கூட ஆக்சஸ் இல்லாத ஒரு ஸ்பேஸில் இந்த மாதிரி கம்யூனிட்டிஸ் ஆர் ரியலி ரியலி யூஸ்ஃபுல். ஸோ தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் ஃபார் கம்மிங் அப் வித் சம்திங் லைக் திஸ். உங்களோட வாழ்க்கையோட மொத்த கோலாகவே இது வச்சுருக்கீங்க. கல்யாணம்லாம் பண்ணாமல் இந்த கம்யூனிட்டிக்காக உழைக்கிறது வந்து ரொம்ப பெரிய விஷயம். பட் ஐ திங்க் இப்போ ஆக்சுவலாக முன்னாடி எப்படி கவர்மெண்ட் ஜாப் வேலை பார்க்குறவங்களுக்கு வந்து தாராளமாக வந்து பொண்ணு கொடுக்குற மாதிரி இப்போ ஆண்டர்பிரினர்ஸ்க்கு ஆக்சுவலி கொஞ்சம் அதனால வந்து நீங்கள் நினைக்கிற அளவுக்கு கஷ்டம் கிடையாது. பட் இல்லை நாங்கள் உங்களுக்கு வவுச் பண்ணுறோம், எங்கேயாவது மேட்ரிமோனி சைடில் ஏதாவது ப்ரொஃபைல்ஸ் வந்துச்சுன்னா நாங்கள் பேசுகிறோம் உங்களுக்கு. ஸோ அதர் தென் தட், ஸோ எதுக்கு இதை சொன்னேன்னா லவ் ஹோப் ஸ்பேஸ் வந்து இட்ஸ் அ வெரி லிட்டில் திங் தட் ஐ குட் டூ பேக் ஃபார் த கம்யூனிட்டி. ஸோ அதனால வந்து எனக்கு அந்த ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி கொடுத்ததுக்கு ரொம்ப நன்றி. அதர் தென் தட் ஆல் தி பெஸ்ட். எல்லா ஆண்டர்பிரினர்ஸ்க்கு வந்து லைஃப் வில் நாட் பி ஈஸி. நிறைய ஃபெயிலியர்ஸ் வரும், நிறைய சக்ஸஸ் வரும், ஹைஸ் லோஸ், டிஃப்ரெண்ட் சேலஞ்சஸ் பர்சனலி ப்ரொஃபஷனலி. We just have to be together and take things forward. Competition எல்லாமே வந்து ஹெல்தி வேலை எடுத்துட்டு என்னதான் இருந்தாலும் கடைசியில் எல்லா சக்ஸஸையும் பார்த்து ஹெல்த்தை கோட்டை விட்டுறாதீங்க, which is what most of entrepreneurs do. So take care of your health physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, emotionally, in whatever ways you guys could do. அதை சாக்ரிஃபைஸ் பண்ணி நீங்கள் என்ன பில்ட் பண்ணாலும் அது எந்த அளவுக்கு வேல்யூவாக இருக்கும்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. ஸோ ஐ திங்க் தட் இஸ் சம்திங் ஐ வுட் ஜஸ்ட் லைக் டு சே அண்ட் ஆல் தி வெரி பெஸ்ட். தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச்.
Sohail is the founder of a brand called Hasbro Clothing, co-founder of a brand called Hasbro Clothing, which is like நீங்கள் தமிழ்நாட்டில் சென்னையில் மட்டும் இல்லை, தமிழ்நாட்டில் நிறைய ஸ்டோர்ஸ் நீங்கள் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க. பேசிக்ஸ் மென்ஸ் லைஃப் அப்படின்னு ஒரு ஸ்டோர்ஸ் இருக்கும். ஸோ அந்த கம்பெனியோட co-founder தான் Sohail. ஸோ he's been, ஸோ ரீசெண்டாக we had ஒரு க்ளோஸ் டோர் செஷன் வித் him, only with like ஃபேஷன் செக்மெண்ட்டில் பில்ட் பண்ணுற ஃபவுண்டர்ஸ் கூட we had ஒரு க்ளோஸ் ரூம் செஷன். And personally I got an opportunity to just sit there and observe and listen from the amount of experience he was able to give it to the fellow founders. அதுவும் ஃபேஷன் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில் ரொம்ப வருஷமாக ஒரு ஐ திங்க் 2 decades-ங்களா 15 years 4th decade-ஆ ஒப்பா. அதுக்கே ஆக்சுவலி கேன் யூ கைஸ் கிவ் a big round of applause. இது எனக்கு புதுசாக ஒரு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் ப்ரோ எனக்கு. ஸோ 4 years of his building in the business. ஸோ ஃபேஷன் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி பற்றி in and out, லைக் அன்னைக்கு ஃபவுண்டர்ஸ் கூட நான் பிரெயின் ஸ்டார்ம் பண்ண போகும்போது he was like giving lot of insights. Like personally I was able to நிறைய அப்சர்வேஷன்ஸ் எல்லாம் எடுத்துக்க முடிஞ்சிச்சு. அண்ட் நிறைய பேருக்கு தெரியாது, he is also நம்ம ஸ்டார்ட் அப் சிங்கம் ஷோ நீங்கள் கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க. he is one of the creators behind it. But Sohail is a person who பேச வரவே மாட்டாங்க. இப்போ நிறைய ஈவெண்ட்டுக்கு நான் கூப்பிட்டுருக்கேன். அண்ட் லக்கிலி அண்ட் அன்ஃபார்ச்சுனேட்லி டுடே ஐ எம் வெரி லக்கி தட் he is here. Few words to our fellow entrepreneurs, Sohail.
I love the energy in the room. I love to see the young entrepreneurs. And finally, I think entrepreneur is not a bad word. You know, for very many years, entrepreneurs were looked down upon. So I think that celebrating entrepreneurship here, encouraging entrepreneurship is great what you're doing. That's one. Second is, as a footnote, a lot of you are looking at growing businesses. Don't put so much pressure on yourself that you burn out. There's nothing wrong with growing at 10-15% growth per year, right? Not everybody has to be a $1 billion business. Not everybody has to scale. Not everybody has to be on the cover of Forbes. I'm saying don't forget the original motive why you started the business. So I think the two of them spoke very well. They said, product market fit, and they said that somebody asked him about a B2B business. Why D2C? I mean, he asked you, if it was me, I would have asked you just one question, why D2C? So my whole take here is that while you're celebrating entrepreneurship here, don't burn out, don't push yourself so hard. Build businesses with balance sheets, right? Remember, P&L is a real thing. And if you follow your P&L, if you follow the business, you will get there. I don't know whether you'll get where you want to, but I think along the way, your journey will also change, right? Where you get. If you don't focus enough on the fundamentals of the business, if you're talking of fundraising, if you're talking about growth and strategy all the time, if you forget the consumer is at the heart of your business, then I think disappointment is where you'll get. So build your business with strong fundamentals, get your numbers right. I think one of them also said that, my P&L, I'll know my P&L on day one, even if it's a negative P&L. Some very good takeaways for me as well. And it reiterates that sound business is the only business. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Nitin. Thank you, all the special guests and everyone here. Few people are behind this event. Like without them, this event is not possible to us. So we saw Base, who's our title sponsor today. Thank you, Pradeep sir. And we would also like to thank our associate sponsor, Profit Story AI. Next, I would like to call upon our digital marketing partner, Travelogy, on stage, please, to share a few words.
Pleasant evening, everyone. So I am Premnath. I am the business head of Travelogy. About me, I've been in this field of digital marketing for around 18 years in this field. So I have started around 2009 when someone says like digital marketing, no one would know what it is. It was at the time it was called online marketing. So I didn't go to any institute or anywhere. So it is actually on our ground. Practically, I learned digital marketing, and from there we have adapted, and we have from now the AI is here, and we've been keeping adapting. So and about Travelogy, so Travelogy is the parent company of Travelogy is Casa Grande. I know everyone here know Casa Grande. It is the number one company, real estate is the number one company in Tamil Nadu, and it is in India it is a top 10 in real estate. So digital Kazakhstan has multiple ventures. It is Kazakhstan is into travel, door manufacturing, multiple ventures. So Digilogy is the digital venture of Kazakhstan. We do marketing and advertising for Kazakhstan, and also we do it for the outside clients. In what we started as a humble beginning, we started as a Facebook and Google marketing. So we from that we have expanded, and we have some three solutions that we offer. We have Revenue OS, which is a revenue operating system. Let's say with this we have something called revenue stress test. So it is a 5 to 10 minutes of test, which if you take, you will be able to find out where your revenue is leaking, and we'll be able to propose you or guide you how to scale up from your 1x to 10x. So, and we have business OS and creative OS. So business OS is nothing but a single software which can support your entire ecosystem. And we have creative OS, which is major problem of any companies, like the agencies want to operate on Saturday, Sundays, and at the night. So creative OS is nothing but 24/7 you'll be able to get your creatives done. So these are the three solutions we offer, and these three solutions scale up to around 120 plus services under this. And I believe that nothing happens without any reason. So we all have gathered here for one reason, and it is for growth. And I wish you all a success, and I thanks Nitin for giving us this opportunity to sponsor them and meet you all here. And it has been a very energetic and highly engaging forum, and I'm really thankful for that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. This is Venkateshan. I head the zone for Equitas Bank. A quick 2-3 minutes. I know you had a long meeting. Everything, my colleagues will be around one-on-one. They will have a speak. See, just like us, we are also, as a bank, it's a Chennai headquartered bank. We are into 9th year as a bank, overall with a balance sheet of 86,000 crore. So we have 420 branches across India. So only one thing is that we follow, our tagline is beyond banking, where if you bank with us, what we give it back to the society, 5% of the CSR. We run our own school for the underprivileged, number one. And number two, we run a cancer hospital at affordable prices. So the main theme of our bank is that if you bank with us, we give back to the society. And of course, yeah, digital savvy, whatever, after this meeting, we will be around here, wherever a banking related specific, your digital related payment gateway, whatever we will be able to help, we will be very happy to do that. And thanks for EOM, and we are very happy to co-sponsor this, and let's hope we will continue to have that. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
It's going to be a really tough act to follow. So many amazing people spoke, and so Nitin reached out to me in 2023 asking me to be a part of this. I think I chose the right event to come down to, Nitin. So like amazing folks from clean label brands and such like growing entrepreneurs from Chennai. And I think I chose the right day to come back to grassroots and talk a little bit about what we are currently building. So I'm here with Zocket right now, and so we've been in the art tech space for about 5 years, and so we've been helping D2C brands scale across the advertising verticals. So we work on a lot of different parts in advertising, but currently the hottest new thing is AI creatives, because anybody who runs meta ads, it's becoming tougher by the day. And so creatives and new targeting, and how do you do that at scale? And that's where we come into the picture. So right now, we've cracked the whole problem of brands being able to generate AI creatives at scale with a fraction of the cost that you would probably pay for a designer. I'm not shitting on designers, I'm not shitting on agencies, I'm just telling you, you can do it at a better scale. So I'm going to be around here if you want to have a chat about how you can go about this. I'm happy to answer any questions. And so thank you so much, Nitin. It was an amazing event, and I hope you do more of these. And I mean, it's really good to see how much people feel empowered when they come down here. And amazing job.
Thank you all. Thank you, Nitin, for giving me this stage. Right, நானும் Nitin ஒரு 3-4 years Instagramலயே பேசிக்கிட்டே இருந்தோம். So I come from a brand called Eval Bench. I'm the co-founder of it. So there is a law called DPDP, Digital Personal Data Protection Act. So what happens is, based on this law, எல்லாருமே D2C brands, எல்லாருமே customers, we get customer contact, right? do not get customer contact before consent, right? For the purpose you use, store it based on their consent only. So in the law, the law is active. The law is going to be fully active on May 2027, 12th of May 2027, and the fine amount is 50 crore to 250 crore, and it's going to hit all D2C brands very hardly. We work with Lenskart, we work with Board to help them comply on this. There are tools to do it. We have put up a stall there. Let's chat there. Thank you team. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you so much, bro.
It's not fear. I'm not selling fear here, right? The law tells it, say, get customer consent before processing. We are all normal customers, correct? We work with, we go buy with shopping. Same like, if they misuse our thing, நம்ம customers நினைக்கிறாங்க. But there is a law today. If you are working with European markets, GDPR, you would have heard about it. Same like there is a law, DPDP. If you want, I'm not going, go to Google. The law is already active, right? All the bigger brands are started working to get consent. Already இருக்கிற customers you have to get consent wherever the data stores. So I'm not selling fear. So there are ways to get consent. We will help you on that. We are there.
Good evening to everyone. So here I am representing Travelogy. So we are also part of a Casa Grande venture. Meet, Digiology and everyone are the venture of sister concern of Casa Grande. And me and Nitin are like 3 years. Singapore Club we are there. So I know Nitin personally also. It's good to be sponsoring you, Nitin, because 3 years he is also trying for getting sponsor from us, and this time I could make it up through both the companies. And this event is like very, very, personally I feel very good about associating with the EOM by seeing so many entrepreneurs in one under one umbrella and getting to meet each other. They are actually understanding each other difficulties. They are growing their business. I'm happy to see so many entrepreneurs because I never seen these many entrepreneurs under real estate concept. So thank you so much for us to be part of this EOM. And Travelogy is a new venture we started. We are a business partner for all travel. You are looking as within your companies and you want to do any group travels, we can contact our Travelogy department. So we will do all your group travels and your individual travel also. We are planning to launch in another 2 months in a very big way what Casa Grande usually does in the market. So good to know. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
ரொம்ப நேரம் நீங்க உட்கார்ந்திருக்கீங்க. இன்னைக்கு நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒரு few hours நைட் ஒரு 8:30 வரைக்கும் நம்ம இருப்போம் இங்க. கரெக்டா ப்ரோ? 8:30 வரைக்கும் நான் விட்டுருவீங்கன்னு நான் நம்புறேன். ஸோ நீங்க நிறைய நெட்வொர்க் பண்ணுங்க. நிறைய டிஃப்ரெண்ட் செக்மெண்ட்ல இருந்து நிறைய ஃபவுண்டர்ஸ் வந்திருக்காங்க. ஃபுட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி, FMCG, ஹெல்த், வெல்னஸ் அண்ட் எவ்ரிதிங். ஸோ டாக் டு எவ்ரிஒன். யூ நெவர் நோ யார் எங்க நம்மளோட டோர்ஸ் ஓப்பன் பண்ணுவாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஸோ நிறைய பியூட்டிஃபுல்லான டெஸ்டிமோனியல்ஸ் எங்களோட கம்யூனிட்டியில நடந்துட்டு இருக்கு. ஃப்ரம் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் கம்யூனிட்டிஸ், சிங்கப்பெண்ணையில் ஆரம்பிச்சு இப்போ இந்த ஈவெண்ட்டே எனக்கு ஃபுல் பண்ணது இட்ஸ் நாட் அ நாங்க கிடையாது. இது என்டையர் கம்யூனிட்டி ஹஸ் கம் டுகெதர். கிஃப்டிங்ல ஆரம்பிச்சு, ப்ரொடக்ஷன்ல ஆரம்பிச்சு, ஸ்பான்சர்ஷிப்ல ஆரம்பிச்சு எல்லாமே நம்ம கம்யூனிட்டியில இருக்க பீப்புள் தான் இங்க. ஸோ ரொம்ப வருஷமா இந்த ஈகோ சிஸ்டம் நம்ம மக்களுக்கு ஏதாவது பண்ணணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு ரொம்ப ஆரம்பிச்சது. இப்போ இது இவ்வளவு தூரம் வந்திருக்கிறது ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு. ஸோ ஹோப் யூ கைஸ் ஹவ் எ வெரி குட் டைம் இந்த டின்னர் அண்ட் நெட்வொர்க்கிங் செஷன். டின்னர் அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஸோ சாப்பிட்டுட்டு நெட்வொர்க் பண்ணுங்க, பேசுங்க. இங்க இருக்க டூல்ஸ் வந்திருக்கோம் கூட நீங்க பேசி பாருங்க. அவங்க நம்ம கம்யூனிட்டியில நிறைய பிராண்ட்ஸ் கூட ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஸோ யூ வில் ஹேவ் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஆக்சஸ் அண்ட் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் டு தம் ரைட் ஃப்ரம் பேஸ், ப்ராஃபிட் ஸ்டோரி. இவங்கெல்லாம் நம்ம கம்யூனிட்டியில இருக்க ஃபவுண்டர்ஸ் கூட நிறைய பேர் கூட ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஸோ அவங்க ப்ராடக்ட் எப்படி இருக்கலாம் அவங்க யூஸ் பண்ணி பாருங்க. And hope you guys get a good amount of insights, got a good amount of insights from the session. And for anyone who wants to join and be part of this Entrepreneurs Madras, we have a QR code which is kept outside. And also in the front row, இந்த சைட் ஃபுல்லா இருக்கவங்க நம்ம கிளப் மெம்பர்ஸ் தான். ஸோ உங்களுக்கு யாராவது கிளப்பை பத்தி ஏதாவது தெரியணும் அப்படின்னா என்னங்க இவங்க எல்லாத்தையும் நீங்க கேட்டு தெரிஞ்சுக்கலாம். இங்க இருக்கவங்க எல்லாருக்கும் கிரேட் கைஸ், தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் ஃபார் பீங் பார்ட் ஆஃப் திஸ் டே. வில் டேக் அங்கே இருங்க ஒரு குவிக் போட்டோ.
Entrepreneurs of Madras!